It's another episode of Around the Mage Table. This is your boy Frank, and I'm joined today by Mythic Ayaski, the man who abandoned the MDL.
He's going right out for it.
Oh, don't worry, Lithian's next. Tell us what's happened, Ayaski. Give us an update on what your where your life is taking you.
So it's a bit of an exaggeration because I'm still doing some raiding and keys with y'all, but I did have an opportunity to potentially join a newer-ish mythic team. So I've thought about doing it for a while, and I wasn't going to, but then I was like, am I just going to be a person who says I'm going to do this, or am I actually going to try it at some point? So I decided to just commit to it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I did a normal raid with them the other day. It seemed like it went okay, so we'll see how it goes from here.
Can you explain to me why you had to leave the guild?
Well, they just wanted my main and their guild, so that's why. All my
really
other
sad.
And you felt that wasn't more important than what we wanted?
Yes.
He didn't even give us a 2 weeks notice.
I'm trying to be a team player.
Got no notice.
We see which team you've chosen. Okay.
Come to next week and see.
Moving
in
on.
a world full of donkeys, be a Shrek. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God.
I jokingly said that we're a farmer guild, right? We bring in the people via the podcast, and then we get them promotions to 1, being a star on the podcast, and 2, being in a mythic raiding guild. So good for you, man. You're no longer a 1%er though, or 99%er, I should say. So
yeah,
I
you're
mean,
1%er.
I still am.
Scrapclaw, how are you doing?
Well, I was just saying, stay tuned for next week when we have a new host to replace Ayaski after this betrayal.
Oh my God. Shawnee's return.
And we're not joking about it anymore. Unless it's funny.
No, unless he does something really donkeyish as a mythic raider. But
it'll come back.
It's coming back.
Yeah, it'll come back.
Not running twos. With
I'm not doing the British.
No.
I'm not doing the British accent on the podcast.
Let's keep the inside jokes out.
Yeah.
Scrap, how many mechanics have you misquoted as how they're supposed to be done this week so far?
Significantly? At least 2 I can think of off the top of my head.
How confident were you when you were telling people?
I think of 2 that I was extremely confident about and very aggressive about, and then very wrong about. I can think of off the top of my head. So 2.
How many times can you soak the mechanic in Priory?
Oh, 3. I wasn't counting that. I wasn't counting that one.
We'll get more to the dungeons later. All right, Lithian. For those of you at home listening, if I feel a little more contentious or a little more pissed off at Lithian tonight, it's because he is the king of gaslighting, and I would take the time to do a trial of pulling up the video of where you told me I was doing something wrong, to not only prove that I was doing it right, but also that you were the reason why I died. If you see me jump across the box and strangle him tonight, you'll understand why, okay? Lithian, how you doing today?
Dude, I'm tired, bro.
Tired.
We're doing this.
I'm staying up too much. I'm playing too much, and I'm tired.
So
I work an 8 to 5, and I'm tired.
That's some behind the curtains here. We have just finished our Thursday night raid. Normally we would be recording either on a Wednesday or Friday when we don't have to worry about anything else. But we were poor at planning, so it also explains why my mic might sound a little different today. I don't know what the hell has happened to it. It's just broken, I guess. So if you hear me peaking a lot, I apologize. I don't know what the hell's going on. I tried very hard to tune it so that it doesn't go crazy.
Just don't talk so loud, so it won't peak.
If this were like
the
an NPR,
down.
Like, hey, this is Richard, and I'm just trying to tell you about this, I
that sounded better, not peaky.
I know, but the problem is then I start talking to you 3 idiots, and I get very angry very quickly. So we'll see. Anyways, we're hoping, because it's a late start for us, it'll be a quick episode.
Don't even
say it. As you know, when we say that, we always fail to deliver. So we're going to jump straight into it with some news. I want to start by telling another update from Thomas from the gymnastics crew. He's still frustrated with DBM not telling him how delves are supposed to be managed with cooldowns and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he has officially tried the new ones. Said they were pretty good. He hasn't. It doesn't sound like he's gotten a lot of time to be able to play this week. But I know that you, Scrap, and Lithian.
Yes.
I don't know. I ask you, have you done any delves?
I did the Spruce Street one just to get the half spark.
Oh, okay.
I should do
Bro.
that.
So
I did all.
this was a little surprising to me because I feel like we would have come into the season and just ignored delves immediately. But Lithian, you've done what, 11s?
Yeah, I'm doing all 11s. I've already killed question mark, and I'm progging on question mark. So
Dude, I got to question mark last night, and I'm putting that down.
Did you get question mark down already, Scrap?
Yeah, I got in 2 polls. It was really the first one is unbelievably easy. The
Yeah.
second one is freaking buggy, dude. Lithian, did you have them spawning up on the wall?
yeah, they spawn in they spawn in weird places, and sometimes
No, they were spawning up on the wall where I wouldn't even see lines. Like, they
yeah,
were
sometimes
just
you don't
spawning
see
up
the
on wall.
lines, and you just yellow it until you
can't
die.
kill them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so the main problem I was having with question mark is that, like, I'm tanking the boss because Tank Bran dies in 2 hits. He does nothing. So I had Healing Bran, but you can't, like, the little bombs on the ground, I can't click on them because the boss's hitbox is so fucking big that
You're
he
like
keeps
clicking the
stepping on.
hitbox?
Yeah, no, it's really buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the mechanics are particularly difficult, but, like, you cannot manage the ads
Well-
without the bombs.
The-
And I was like, this is frustrating. I'm not when I get to the point where I can out DPS the ads and I can just kill them without the bomb mechanic, that's when I'm gonna do it because
the goal is, the goal is to get the ads down quickly, because otherwise it gets too chaotic, and it's just too much.
But you can't really realistically do it without the bombs unless you can out DPS them. And
right.
Yeah.
You need to be able to kick the bombs onto the ads and kill the ads quickly. And
Yeah.
I could do the first couple sets, but after a while, I start to lose uptime on the boss, and it gets terrible.
The adjustment they need to make is that they need to make the bomb kick an extra action button, and then I would be happy progging on it. But I literally can't click on it, when the boss is on top of it, and so I can't, like, and then every third pull they spawn up on the rafters, and it's just a bricked pull.
It's just stud.
Is
It's
that
buggy.
because it's the question mark, or is that possible to happen in the question mark as well?
I don't know because I only did 2 pulls with the question mark one.
No,
The
so
question mark one you
question
could
mark-
you could bully to death.
Yeah, question mark. The big difference is the rate at which the ads come out is really, really slow. Like, I can
and the
kick
bombs,
the bombs.
like 2-shot them or 3-shot them.
Yeah, the bombs kill them super fast, and it's super easy. It was. I did it on the first pull, and
I did it without even realizing you could kick the bombs.
Yeah,
I just ignored the ads.
And I have to do question mark to be able to get the gold
Yeah,
helicopter, right?
I'm really hoping they make. I mean, it's not like hard because it's hard. It's hard because it's not well designed. Like, I'm happy to prog on a difficult boss, but, like, you can't interact with the mechanic easily unless there's some sort of way that I'm just, like, stupid. But, like, having to try to click on this thing, these little bombs, and they don't even do that much. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I want it because I like doing single target challenges, but yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna get some fixes. But the tier
And-
11s were fine. If you're 639, like the roundabouts I was, you would just have to be a little careful, but you should be able to clear it fine at 640-ish.
the new delves are fun too.
Yeah.
Just for anyone trying them.
Yep, that's the delve report.
I'll do more this weekend when I fill my vol up to get some hopefully some good heroic gear for Mythic Raid.
No, you're gonna have to. Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to do it because it's required of you. You're gonna have to. How many alts do you have to have as a Mythic Raider now?
I don't think it's that serious. I don't think we're doing splits.
Okay.
Oh no.
Not that serious yet, bro.
Yeah.
Well, we will
I've done
report
my
back
time.
once you guys get the question mark done and Scrap gets her pussy wagon 2.0.
Well, Lithian, I'm putting it down because I think.
Yeah,
I'm either gonna out DPS it or I'm not, or they're gonna fix it because I don't want to play with it. I only did like 15 pulls, and before I was like, this is not doable.
The other thing we didn't talk about is you got to knock the shield down, and when things get so chaotic, I can't get uptime on the boss to DPS the shield, which is the other problem.
The strategy I was trying to do, Lithian, is
waiting.
just completely ignoring the ads. And
Yeah, I do that.
It's
and
hard.
It's hard. I'm gonna give it a couple weeks. I'm gonna get some gear, and hopefully I'll be able to knock it down pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to cheese this one. I'm not gonna prog it properly like I did to Zach Veer.
Okay.
Cheese.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take a quick second to talk about the raid. Okay. So first and foremost, we just killed normal Gallwix and went into heroic and did the first 2 bosses. Surprisingly, it's taken 3 days for them to kill heroic Gallwix. So I wanted to ask, because I went into tonight, we didn't kill normal Gallwix until tonight. I went into tonight thinking, okay, this actually isn't going to be that easy. We're like, it's going to be this huge wall that just comes up out of nowhere because we breeze through normal, no problem.
Breeze.
But we breezed through normal Gallwix pretty quickly. I would say
Third
that
bowl.
we were, and the first one was like just a fuck up because no one was
Donkey.
doing the bombs, right?
Yeah.
It was surprisingly easy. So when I see this, where they had to get the heroic kill, I think they had to do 8 healers, right? And it took them almost 9 minutes to do. Are you at all concerned that heroic and our predictions of how many kills that we are going to take? Are you at all concerned that we are maybe in for a treat when we get to this boss at the end?
107, bro.
Not
107.
especially.
I'm putting it down.
Especially 8 healers is kind of an outlier. If it's that difficult, they're gonna nerf it before we even get there. I mean, it took us a while to do the dinosaur King Kong boss today, so it might be a little bit before we get there.
Okay.
That was also because of Donkery.
That was pre-optimization.
Yeah, there were some mechanical challenges there.
And go on.
Oh, I haven't been following too closely, but did they just not try this until recently, or were they actually struggling with this for 3 straight days?
So, for those who are not familiar with splits, right? What they do is they try to gear up their eye level as quickly as possible on, I think, one of their 10 ults, right? So they have a ton of ults that they just kind of get like a RNG roll of who gets the best gear of those ults, from what I understand. Now, granted, they may have ults of the same class to get that RNG rolling, or they might just have ults that they're worried might play better than the other. Okay. The thing is that they asked people to come and help and feed gear in normal. So they did 5 groups of normal runs over and over and over and over and over again. And by the way, they're paying like 180,000 gold for normal, 350,000 gold for a complete heroic run, which is a lot of gold going out a lot.
They'll make it by the end. They'll be selling by the end. So
yeah, but they have to sell. I mean, just imagine how much they have to sell to be able to make up.
Yeah.
Let's say there's 10 raiders because they ran 5 runs, so there's like 10 raiders per run. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they're feeding all this gear to. That means 20 other slots are being filled by randos that they're paying 180,000 gold each. Now, granted, that's for a full run, not per boss. But the long and short of it is that like they've been running nonstop to try to get their eye level up and get them ready for this fight. Now, if you look at the eye level of
647,
like 647. Well, why do you say what the fuck? That's not that high, to be honest.
I feel like that's pretty high. Well, hold on. I'm 644, and I've been playing pretty
Yeah.
casually this week.
670
Yeah.
something is the peak of eye level this
Oh,
season.
okay. Oh, I see. Is that a 660? It's kind of hard to read.
So I'm wondering, like the highest I see, I think 647.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's more of that like gear is not falling their way. But again, this is not just a liquid problem. This is every other guild has now had a day or two to be able to work on it. Or is it just that they've been focusing so hard on normal? I don't know. Like, I'm sure if I was watching a little bit closer to the race, I'd know better. But I am seeing that they're like trying to get the heroic runs done now, and they're jumping into Mythic Plus. So they're doing like.
I was gonna say,
now.
I'm surprised they're not slamming like 6s because it drops hero gear. That's like 649. I mean, how hard is it? Like, if they just slam 6s all day, they would all be 649.
Because they need the trinkets. Like
they need the specific trinkets. Yeah, I see a couple Void Reapers contracts still on those rogues and stuff.
So like that's the thing. They're doing this more for that like 1 or 2 items that they're really worried about.
Oh,
and tier. They
want to
get tier. They want to get tier as quickly as possible. So.
Yeah. Okay. I guess now they'll get into the Mythic Plus for the rest of the week to kind of bump up everything evenly. Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
But a little side note, I thought you'd like to know the scrap.
Me?
I'll ask each one of you 3. If you were to guess, what is the longest spec that hasn't seen a position or a spot in Race to World First? What spec do you think it would be? Since it's been in Race to World, so the longest drought, let's call it. What spec is it, and how long do you think it's been?
That's so interesting. I would say Feral Druid.
So okay, I'm gonna go in and tell you it's not Feral Druid because Feral Druid was in the Mirdrasil.
What was that shitty rogue that nobody plays? Combat? Oh,
Sub.
No, I think Combat Rogue is shit, isn't it?
No, I just saw something recently that had this. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember.
I'm gonna say Outlaw Rogue because I didn't even know what it was
not
called.
Outlaw Rogue.
How about Brewmaster?
Is it melee or?
Hold on, I'm looking at it right now. Outlaw.
Is it melee or Go on.
Outlaw was a little while back. It was in the Sarkareth raid, whatever that raid is called. But
it's
Assault of the Zakali, which is
it's further back.
Yeah, so that was Dragonflight Season 2. Okay, so Outlaw was last seen in Dragonflight Season 2. Right.
Is it melee or range?
It's melee.
It's why do you have to think about that?
I
it a healer?
I wanted to tell you that. No,
is it
are
a
you
healer?
just talking? Are you just talking DPS, bro?
Is it
yeah.
Unholy DK?
It's not Unholy. Unholy was last seen at
It's not survival, is it?
It's survival.
Oh my god!
So,
that was a trick. I thought no way,
trick
man.
Question.
It was good in Dragon.
It's survival. Scrap spec. Now Scrap. When was the last boss it was seen? Or I'll even say last raid it was seen.
Oh, it was going to be in season 4 of Shadowlands.
It was season 3 of Shadowlands because that's when
season 3.
That's when a Major Seal was out, or not Major Seal. Vault. What is it? Vault of the
Jailer.
Yeah, the jailer one.
Incarnate.
The last fight that they were seen on was Lords of Dread, which was the Among Us fight.
Oh yes, yeah.
So they didn't even make it to Jailer.
It wasn't Jailer. It was the Sylvanas one. Yeah, because
No. Lords of Dread was the Jailer one.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't remember.
Among Us and that
Wow, I'm really that's disappointing.
Is that an early boss in that raid? I didn't do that one.
No, it's last boss.
Yeah, it's a late one. It was Among Us, Io. It was so fun. It literally somebody would become the traitor and only a couple people could see them, and then like you would be like, kill him, and then everybody would just kill like some random guy, and it would be like, that was the traitor.
Kill your friends.
It was a very fun mechanic until they made a Weakor that just broke it, and then a huge discussion erupted about like
because
should they do that.
If you were in a pug, there was no way that was going to get done.
Even in like a group, there's just so much like information because there were people who get false readings. Like we didn't have time to put out a whole game of Werewolf. Like it was like it needed some tweaking, but it could have been fun.
It was fun.
Well, let's not go down too much of memory lane, or else we'll have a 3-hour episode on our hand. But
everybody enjoys memory lane.
I thought you would like to know that you haven't seen play in quite some time. And
it's not happening this season either. I won't get started, but it is not happening this season.
You say that, but the tier set for survival on the spreadsheets that are out there looks really
it's good.
strong.
I think for single target, well, I can't remember how they.
It was like a 13% buff for single target.
But you have to be in single target spec. So for the raid, possibly could be getting.
Well, isn't that the point?
Yeah.
Well, that we're talking about now. But I don't know if it's enough because it's like.
But Beastmaster's also looking really good, and these two people are Beastmasters.
That's the thing is that they'd rather take a ranged hunter 100% of the time. Why would you take a melee hunter when you get the range utility and then you
can make them go do the mechanics.
Same reason we do for the vibes.
No, you just bring me because I'm the mascot, and because I out DPS half the raids too.
All right, well,
you did okay today.
Speaking of Race to World First. There was a Race to World First win on day 2 of the patch to
congrats
RAOV. I can't remember what it stands for,
congrats!
But it's like
everybody pack it
in. So, all right, all joking aside, these people very clearly exploited the dungeon. I mean, they essentially went through walls, it sounds like, and their item level was 56, right? So they not only killed, so they killed Vexy and then killed Gallwix, but it actually looks like they killed Gallwix before they killed Vexy, the first boss. I'm not sure what that was all about.
They just cheated. There was like an actual
flat out cheated. Now here's the thing.
Interesting.
None of them were characters, like they all made burner characters. And again, I'm not even sure if they had gear based on this item level. I don't know much about this, so please don't quote me on this back at home. But I just really want to talk about like, why would someone do this? Because the guild was fake. The players were fake. They can't trace the players. Like these people, again, mid burners, and I'm sure use VPNs or whatever.
I think it's cool.
Is it
like,
cool?
I think it is.
So
I mean,
I'm do somebody... it for the memes.
It's a lot of trouble.
Cool. Yeah,
it's a lot of trouble to expose a bug that should have been fixed by Blizzard. Probably.
I mean, we're talking about it. Like.
I mean,
Twitter
cool.
was like joking and LOLing, like everyone's like you said, Scrub, stop the race. But I don't know. I just feel like this is just obnoxious.
I feel like everybody enjoys it. It's they didn't let them keep the accolade. It's funny. Their code sucks.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know how funny.
Look, it says legendary hacking group. It's for the notoriety. It's cool.
So is it like anonymous? Is that they're the anonymous of
WoW?
WoW?
It's like it is. I think it's fun. I don't know why anybody would be upset about this,
Right.
unless they were like, okay,
upset.
it counts. Like then I would be upset. But
No,
but like,
I don't want to suggest anyone's upset, but to me, it's just like,
yeah,
and I don't know. I mean,
I like
there's-
any percent speedruns though with glitches.
That's true. That is very true. It is a the speed runs very heavily.
I think it's
rely on it.
interesting, you know.
All right, well, that's all. I just wanted to get everyone's take, but I guess I'm the fun police.
What's your
over here.
what's your take? You say they shouldn't have done it?
with it. I just get no. It's just like, oh, what are you doing? You know, like put your resources into doing something actually helpful.
Well,
what are we? We're playing WoW for 6 hours.
No, I know, but like, if
we're not
if they're
helping
gonna-
anybody.
Like, okay, so, and again, this is me just looking at it saying this is a waste of time. Granted, anonymous.
We're WoW
they
players.
Do this shit. Yeah, exactly.
Shut up. Waste of time.
But I guess it's just more of like, am I like rolling my eyes like, oh my god, whatever.
You're a fucking nerd. You're a rules police. You're not
that's
cool
what I'm
like
saying. I'm
me.
not a nerd. I'm a rules police. I'm a fun
that's
police.
that's nerdy, dude. Like,
Unbelievable.
yeah, this is cool. I think I'm like, those are bad boys. You know.
I'll tell you, this is the best way to expose bugs in this indie game that we play and let everybody know that this was a thing.
Frank is like, they should have submitted the bug, and then nobody would hear
I'm not
about
even
it.
saying
No,
that.
no,
Okay,
no.
okay. So I'll give you an example because they do it in this article. So have you ever heard of Rex Troy?
No, go on in.
So what he does is he finds these ways to manipulate the game and essentially break it. I can't think of like all the examples, but like just think of, you remember when Corruption came out, which we'll talk about actually in a little bit, but like he would take Corruption and find a way to make it so that not only would it do like one shots to anyone in PvP, but he'd find a way to make it do one shots to the boss, right? Like he just kind of like play compounding things and stacking buffs and then like unleash it on a player in Arathi Basin or something. You know, that's just an example.
Pretty cool.
So he is cool because one, he'll take the video and explain what he did and how he did it. But two, he also takes it to Blizzard and says, Blizzard, just letting you know this is a problem, right? So like he's having his fun, but he's also playing within the bounds of fun policing, right? So like I don't have a problem with that kind of stuff because like, you know, you made good content and everyone had a laugh, but Blizzard didn't get caught off guard and go, what the fuck's going on, and have to ban you immediately because he's working with them.
I think if you say the difference between it being fun and not is that they reported it to Blizzard, dude, that is not cool. You're not a bad boy.
In fairness, I won't die on that hill, so you're right.
Yeah, okay. No, I don't think any of us are dying on that hill. I just gave
Well,
you my
no,
opinion.
I'm the only one that's even supporting the idea of the hill.
I'll die on the cool hill. I don't care. I die on every hill I stand on.
I hope someone got the mount and they were able to keep it. That's all I care about.
Let them keep the mount.
Banned, so.
Oh yeah, that banned.
Oh, bummer.
Well, they did it smart. You know, they didn't. You know, no one went in here assuming they're gonna get to keep a mount, keep a title, or anything like that. So they're just showing.
Know that. We don't know who they are. Maybe they're really upset and bummed out.
Well, come out then if you're upset and bummed out, and then that would be a very uncool move, though. Yeah, being butthurt about being banned for being cheated.
This is our chance. Okay, if you were one of the people that did this and you're watching the podcast, reach out to me via Discord or whatever, and we will interview. We'll put the silhouette so that no one can know who you are. We'll do voice mods. We'll interview you and we'll get you your notoriety you're looking for.
Come with receipts.
Put a mustache on the silhouette.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Come with receipts because Frank is gullible and he'll put anybody on. He'll be like, "This guy said he did it."
All right, so let's talk some quick tuning to mostly Mythic Plus. It sounds like. So first and foremost, hot off the presses, the timer penalty for deaths have been removed from +2 and +3 Mythic Keystones.
Interesting.
Oh man.
Now, I have been doing. I have my monk healer, which I'm going to make my main alt. I've been doing 3s on that because I just want to fill up my vault with heroic gear.
Casual.
What?
Nothing.
What?
I didn't hear what you said.
Say that again.
I told you a casual.
Oh, casual. Okay. Anyways, it is 3s are full of all the donkeys you'd expect to see, right?
Oh yeah.
But that being said, and I ask you, this is your chance to tell us more about healing. Healing hasn't been a slouch in those keys, despite the fact that I came out of last season with the changes, and we talked about this in previous episodes about how easy 16s were. It's surprising to me to seeing that, one, it felt like last season, once I made the changes, things had gotten a lot easier. Two, I've seen nothing but nerfs. So here's an example right here. More nerfs to dungeons. nothing but nerfs in the notes every time they come through it. But then I get into it, and for example, the first boss of Cinderbrew Meadery, the guy runs up and does the where you have to take the drinks to the patrons.
Yeah.
And it is like, one, I'm a Mistweaver monk, so I can't DPS anything because the guy's got his immune shield, so I have to like hand cast everything.
You can still DPS him.
Well, what's the shield? I haven't. In fairness, I didn't.
You can
really
DPS him and still get full healing out of it. You just won't do full damage.
Are you sure?
Trust. Yes, trust.
He's death striking the shit out of it.
Trust. I just trust.
Okay.
Just trust.
Okay.
He's just bullshitting.
I'll trust.
No, I'm not. I'm
serious.
serious.
I'll tell you. Hey, he's burned me once, so shame on me if I fall for this one.
No. I didn't burn you once.
But anyways, Ayaski, from a DPS perspective, I won't talk to tanking, but Lithian can. It doesn't seem like it's that much crazier for us as we would expect the curve to be within. We're doing 7s and. Things hurt, but they don't hurt that bad, and we also have 30 eye levels less of gear than we're supposed to. But
also,
healing,
we only got
7
hand, Priory, so
which we've been warned about. But healing has been chaotic. So what's your take on this, Mythic Raider?
Yeah, yeah. When they said it was gonna be healer season, I was thinking, like what, a heal check here and there, but no, it's just like heal check after heal check after heal check. It's definitely was as advertised, and even maybe just because the scaling is a little bit less between like a 2 and a 6, but even 2s hit pretty hard, which is a good thing because it kind of prepares you for when you get to a 6, you kind of have an idea of what to expect. But yeah, it seems like there's a lot of packs that just have big pulsing AoEs, a lot of bosses that, especially if the DPS or don't do the mechanics correctly, do extra damage on top of the damage they do. Priory of the Sacred Flame, I really love the dungeon, but man, it definitely could use some nerfs for sure.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit when we do our tier set later. So or tier list, excuse me.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
People need to figure out where their knockup button is and use it. It's fine. Stops and knockups, man. You can't just kick anymore. You got to do more.
You can't just kick anymore.
So basically, bring Ogvoker, bring Shaman.
Bring Ogvoker.
I'm telling you, man. But from a tanking perspective, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Is it any harder though?
Harder. Tanking.
No, for tanking. I think it's obvious healing is harder.
Tanking is not harder. It's just pulling bigger packs is more fun, and it feels like a lot of the dungeons you're pulling bigger packs, and as long as I could stagger the white damage, it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal for me. It hasn't been until. I mean, we're having some issues with the 7 Priory because we're struggle bussing that particular key, and that seems to be the only. Every time we get a 7, it's a Priory for some reason.
We've gotten 4 7s when we were playing yesterday, and all 4 of them were Priory.
So bad, dude.
Somebody please explain. Like, what the fuck?
Explain.
Like, it's not easy.
Yeah, and I don't even know if the healing is necessarily harder. It's just a lot, because it's just a lot that happens one after another. So like if it was just like one thing every now and then, it'd be like, okay, but having to do event after event after event, you're out of CDs, people are out of defensives, it can definitely get pretty hairy.
Crap doesn't even know where her knockup button is, dude.
I'd use my knockup button constantly. Yeah. Fucking TDV. Okay, I'm still learning where to use which defensives.
We're still learning the dungeons too.
That was gonna be my next question: is how much of it do you think is that we just aren't ready for the dance yet?
Priory needs a lot of management that's really important. So us not knowing the dungeon, I mean, by the time we did our 3rd 7 Priory, we did it like way cleaner. And then when we didn't time it, it was because we messed up a boss mechanic. So it wasn't like from a damage or healing issue. It was like a mechanical issue. So we some of them are like obviously like Theater Pain. I did that dungeon 100 times. I remember it. Mechagon, I did that dungeon 100 times.
Getting learning the dungeons and getting more gear, it'll make everything become a lot easier for sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, I already feel pretty confident about all the dungeons. Like I feel like I could teach anybody any mechanic with
What?
accuracy. No.
No,
With confidence, yes.
Take that
you don't
with
know the mechanics.
I don't know the mechanics.
Ooh, take that with
I'm
the smallest
learning.
grain of salt.
I'm
Oh my
learning the one
gosh,
tiny
dude.
grain of salt. I'm enjoying learning them on the job though. It's been a lot of fun.
I will say Priory.
What is that? What is that mechanic?
That's
if you
the
don't-
soak mechanic of the second boss.
So
Oh, okay.
I'm playing a Death Knight in Priory, and being able to grip all the archers in is bonus
Well,
right there.
so you're talking about Priory. So like, I mean, this was in Quasi's video about how if everyone just stands in melee when they jump to drop their claw traps or whatever, they'll be back in melee. But I've said it multiple times in my runs, and people just like they don't care, they're not paying attention. Those people are usually called Braylene, but it's just a matter of you know, trying to get people play the game correctly, and there's just some people
there's
who
a lot going on.
If your tank does that first big pull in Priory, definitely make sure your person knows to lust it, because that's definitely one you're gonna want lust for.
Dude, sometimes I call for lust, and then what happens?
Well, a lot of things
don't
could
get
happen.
me started on, because we did a Motherlode, and I had 4 lust players, and I'm tanking. And I call for lust, and all 4 of them are like, "Oh, I don't have it." Like, where'd you put it?
Where'd you put it? Yeah.
It just disappeared. I don't have the right pet out.
To be fair, I have a lot of setup for my lust. I need to know.
Okay, hold on. Let's worry about the dungeons in a second. We're gonna do our tier list in a second. Okay.
What are we talking about right now?
Well,
I missed.
How you don't lust.
This is
No,
where.
it's setup involved. I can't just lust like you can.
So just
I
quickly,
know.
they nerfed the reckless delivery, which I think is that charge.
Wait, is this for
in
next week?
Cinderbrew.
They're doing this?
No,
or...
this is as of like this morning. I think.
Oh.
No, 3
Oh,
days
wait,
ago,
I
never
was-
mind. No, this was already done. No.
Okay, then let's not talk about it.
Well,
it's already done.
But
Wow.
Done.
so that sacrificial pyre that Scrap kept trying to soak multiple of, it was
Yeah,
already released, and she still can't handle it.
3 times in a row, I was like, I think I can soak 2. Because like I would have like the right. I thought I had the right cooldowns lined up, and then I would like take 80% of my health bar, heal, and then happen again. I'd be like, oh, I died again.
Dude,
like,
this
really surprised.
this healer we have named Haywire said,
Yeah.
"Don't do that," and you did it anyway.
He did. He said it both times, and I.
Guys, if we spend the entire night talking about the mistakes Scrap has made in our dungeons,
We're gonna
we
talk
will
about
have a
Priory
free
all
episode.
night. We're gonna talk about Priory all night, dude.
So,
Because
let's
I really
keep
like
moving.
Priory.
Let's keep moving.
Let's go. Let's
So
go.
we talked about it last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago. I don't remember. But 11.1.5 was already on the PTR. It was encrypted. It officially came out today, I believe, and we got some notes. So just to recap, this new Nightfall event, which is actually, did we even talk about this last week, or did it release in?
No, they just came out.
Okay.
Information just came out.
So let's talk over everything real quick then. So Nightfall. Players will take up arms beside a new faction, Flames Radiance, to defend the Arathi against the Sareki forces following the defeat of Queen Ansarek. This faction consists of volunteer militia-led veterans, Thayed Pyremaker, and Milton Wildbrawn. As you rise through the ranks, you earn up to 10 levels of renown, so another renown track, and unlock new rewards. Alongside the Flames Radiance, players will split between task force within the Nightfall public scenario to clear the battlefield and push back the Sareki. You also have ability to strike back at the Sareki forces through Howlfall and Ash Kahet to continue to earn renown. So, this feature is still in development. It's not in a complete state. We won't see it on the PTR just yet. Is this like what did they have in BFA where you did like the scenario where it was Horde versus Alliance? Do you guys remember what those called? Like war games or something, war scenarios? What were they called?
No, it wasn't called Warfront. That sounds right. It wasn't War Game.
Yeah. Is this just a Warfront? What is this? What do we think this is?
So
I don't know what this is.
No, they bring back horrific visions, man. They do their visions.
No, not that. Nightfall.
No, we're at Nightfall. Did you listen to the
Nightfall?
last hour of him talking?
are we still fighting like Sareki and the
Well, that was
Nerubians?
So okay.
Yeah,
we'll
why
take
are
a
we
quick
fighting the
second-
weird.
Nerubians?
We'll take a second to quickly call out that last week Iaski had mentioned, is this ethereal working for Queen Ansarek, and he predicted that.
No,
to
working
be
for
true.
Zalatath. Hold up.
Zalatath, sorry.
Facts straight.
But on top of that, now are you predicting that we're not really fighting the Sareki, or there's something more to this? Because I'm with you. I immediately said like, wait, why are they still fighting? That Queen died and they realized they were the bad guys.
The only thing I can think of is who was the the boss in the first Naruar Palace, the princess, Nexus Princess Kaiveza.
Yeah, princess. Yeah.
He was like maybe
Disconnected.
he was scheming in like underneath the queen. Like maybe there's some connection there.
Oh, there's definitely a connection there. Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll have to see because it definitely seems like not to spoil anything for you guys, but I'm going to because it's
spoil it, please.
When you finish
Spoilers.
the quest after killing Gallwix, you see FaZe King Azir. That's the guy who took the Dark Heart, and he's kind of in front of what looks.
Wait, how do you know his name?
I was looking up stuff about this because I got pretty pumped by this cutscene.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. You fucker.
Let's recap real quick.
She said spoilers.
So the video you're referring to, you see Gazlo, and he's just like, yeah, we made, this town, it's our town, right? He does that kind of
pretty
like
good Gazlo voice.
And then like there's like cuts of shadow energy, right? Void, and then you see, I guess, what's his name?
FaZe King Azir, I guess.
Okay.
Sounds
and
like
are you certain that that's who you see in the video, or is that speculation?
That is what an article that looked like an official website told me. So,
anyways, you see him holding the Dark Heart, and he is staring into what looks to be maybe his destroyed planet, or maybe just like a void like entity of some sort. But yes, that is very clearly foreshadowing what we've seen for a while now to be, which is the ethereal raid coming. And we may visit their planet, their homeworld that was destroyed, or
cool.
whatever.
And if he's got that, and they were doing something with the Black Blood with the Nerubians originally, maybe there's a bigger connection overall than they can control them, maybe, or something. Yeah. So we'll see. But
right, well,
is it possible that this was like they meant to launch this last season and it just didn't come together?
That's what it feels like, kind of. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like, and they're just kind of pushing it out now.
Well,
but we'll see. We'll see how it fits in.
Well, that doesn't. Why would they build the island and the ring and all that stuff then, if that were the case? But I don't know.
Oh, there's an island too. It's not even just
the island that we did.
11.0.5.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, why wouldn't they just have finished that and not? But anyways,
I mean, there might be
maybe they recycled hardcore because they did recycle the island. Anyways, okay, so that's coming, and it sounds like Warfronts to a degree. Then there's Horrific Visions Revisited.
Here, Lizzie, now's your line. You're supposed to say, "Oh, this is horrific visions."
Yeah, it's just horrific visions.
You said it a little early when we weren't talking about it.
Here, dude, revisited, recycled, redone.
It's coming back.
Yeah, I know. It's like.
But people like horrific visions, right?
I liked it, and I thought it was fine, but man.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
It's a slog.
Go on, Isaac.
Oh, I was gonna say I was hoping when they first announced this, it was going to be a new version that had something to do with the story now, but it seems like it's gonna be just the same thing almost.
Well, instead of a cloak, you get a mask.
Well, no, the masks were always in there. That's the problem I have, and maybe it's not gonna be a problem. Maybe there's a way around it, and it has something to do with another renowned track. But with the horrific visions, the idea was that you had to build up your corruption or resistance so that you could last longer in the vision and then therefore get it done, because it wasn't supposed to be possible with the base level resistance.
Yeah.
Or I'm sure it was possible to some, but very little few people. Mm-hmm. And then there were I think 6 masks, maybe 5 masks, I can't remember. They're adding 3 more, so that's cool to have new fixes. All right, cool. And at the end of the day, it was a fun enough thing. Like, it wasn't as good as Mage Tower, but it was it was good. That I'm okay with this coming back, and now that we know what's going on with what's possibly the next raid, maybe it makes a little more sense with the Void continuing to be a presence there. Okay, cool. But what is the corruption resistance going to look like? And if there is no corruption resistance, it's just a matter of the challenge. Well, then I have a feeling everyone's going to clear this on day 1 and be done with it.
Maybe.
Oh, go on.
I was going to say, maybe if the next raid's going to require us to have some resistance or have some sort of theme in that.
No way they'd make this required. No.
Oh my god, that'd be terrible, dude.
Yeah, like that's the initial reaction. I'm going to be like, fuck that.
Can I tell you exactly how they could fit this and the other one into the story and make it make sense?
Okay.
Just slap Chromie at the front of both of them.
Yeah, dude,
that's all you gotta do. Just throw Chromie out there, dude.
Head to Sir Dormy, located in the coreway, so it's already a time thing.
Yeah, Chromie needs you to go do this again.
The coreway is just that big hole in the ground.
Yeah, the car race is something. Sorry, Dormy is a
is one of the time dragons.
Yeah, those damn dragons. Okay.
I was hoping they bring back Torghast.
No, but that's the thing is
One
that
day.
like Lithian and I were doing delves yesterday, and we were both like, I was reflecting. I was like, delves are kind of fun. Like, why were we so hard on these like at the beginning? And I was like, oh yeah, I remember because they're just worse Torghast. And I'm like, then I got mad about it again. Is that like Torghast was the best, and delves are,
if
like,
they took
is,
the
of
delve
course, a
system
knockoff
as
of it.
far as level design and
Yeah,
made
and Torghasted it,
yeah,
yes,
that was the
it would
problem I
be
had with Torghast. Torghast was so everything looked the same and every room was like the same. And
no,
it
they
just,
had like the 6 different, but it was procedurally generated, like so.
Yeah, I know,
Not,
but
not
it was
the,
like
not
a
the
variable
maps.
of one hallway looking different from another
But
hallway.
the thing is that the delves are literally like, if you've seen this story, next week when you do it, it'll be the fucking same, like the story. There's only so many stories for each delve.
Sure.
There's a lot, and if you play it casually like I do, like I haven't seen all the stories of all the delves, right? But if you're playing it like your friend Derek, what was his name?
Thomas.
Wow.
That's not Thomas.
I was about,
and that's
which
like your primary.
To Derek.
I'm sorry, your primary engagement of the game. You're gonna if I saw a repeat delve, I'd be less.
No,
excited
but that's like saying
about it.
repeat dungeons. We have 8 dungeons, but they have like 12 or
I
13
know, but I
delves.
love doing dungeons.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's different.
This patch and these things seem like just single player things to tide you over if you're not really doing any group stuff, or if you're someone like Thomas, it just seems like just kind of extra content to
Lithian,
do to get
Yeah,
rewards.
this is his main source of comment.
Yeah. Well, Lithian sidetracked me. I just wanted to say how much I love Torghast and that it was great, and everybody who said it was bad, you suck. Shadowlands was awesome. Like, I'm sorry. It was one of the best expansions ever.
Torghast was a victim of the same thing that they always do, which is they have an idea for an expansion, and their first version of it is half-baked and not there and buggy or whatever, right? But by the end of the expansion, they kind of figured it out based on the feedback from the players.
Yeah.
Because they didn't listen to the players when they had it on beta or whatever. From what I understand, there was a version of Torghast on the beta that was like insanely good because it was like endless and it kind of felt like a roguelite and you just like.
Yeah.
But then they like decided they couldn't do that because no one would be good at it, and they made it, roguelite like.
Maybe
roguelite like.
One day they can do kind of like a plunder storm, but have it be like a super endless Torghast mode or something. That would be cool.
What would you compete against, the leaderboard?
Torghast
was solo play.
No, it'd be like that game
yourself,
Fall Guys.
Like,
yeah.
Fall
Guys, dude, can they put Fall Guys in WoW? I was thinking about more things they put in WoW because they put like the Mario Kart in the WoW and all this stuff. Dude, please, for the love of God, put Fall Guys
would
in
be
WoW.
awesome.
I would play the shit out of that, especially if it's with like my friends.
Yeah.
Anything else on these horrific visions?
I know we got so far off track.
So okay, there is one good thing coming out of it because again, we talked about corruption of resistance, but there were corruption effects, and as was recently announced just 2 hours ago, they are bringing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the corruption effects as enchantments for your weapons that are, I guess, rewards for doing this. So Infinite Star immediately stood out to me because I remember this was like something that would just absolutely decimate if you stacked your corruption high enough, is going to be one of them. Twilight Devastation, which I think, if I remember correctly, was big for tanks, dealing, what is this, 10 million damage to anyone in front of you. I'm sure there will be some tuning that needs to be done. But these will be new weapon enchants, which will be a huge deal because personally, I think the weapon enchants, while they're usually, you have a best in slot, they're very boring. They're like, Celestial Haste, and you just have haste or whatever. And it's like, okay, fine. But these are actually way more fun. And Infinite Star and Twilight Devastation were great.
Do they give you the one where the little dude chases you and you gotta not let him touch you or something?
No. So that was a corruption like effect. That was you having too much corruption. They don't want to punish you. So
are enchanters molding about this? Like they're just like don't get to.
How many people have told me, because I'm an enchanter, how many told me that, haha, I don't have to go through you to get the enchanting rune anymore. Well, this is what I get as a side, and I appreciate that because this is way more fun.
I've already bought 2.
I
don't use a weapon enchant.
Yeah, whatever. Shut up, DK.
I wonder if any of these will be BIS.
They definitely.
Yeah,
these
definitely.
Two Infinite Stars and Twilight Devastation will definitely be BIS. I'm calling it now.
That's cool.
So this is basically the mid-season, like the ring, the
Yes,
What was the
but
next?
this will carry through till the end of the expansion.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Can you only get them from this vendor, or are they recipes?
I don't think it's been confirmed where they come from.
Oh, okay.
It's a secret.
We just know that they're enchants. Now, granted, as you pointed out, they might be just enchants sold. Yeah, but no, sorry. They might be given to you by getting the chest. So, like, you kill Rexar, you kill Wormbane, whatever. They have a chance to drop in the chest. So maybe enchanters don't get a chance to build this. You just pick up the scroll and you get it, and then sell it on the auction house, which might be some really good money too to, entice people to do the visions without needing the enchantment. But then I also see a reason why they won't like this, because they don't want to flood the auction house with money.
But they do have reagents, profane Tanger bots, Black Blood residue.
They're craftable.
Yeah.
Again, that's certainly possible one way or the other. I think is
okay.
Yeah,
These are just things that you got.
No. Those are recipes, so those could drop, I think.
Oh, that's good for enchanters then.
That's cool.
No, these aren't. This is a recipe right here.
That's the recipe.
Yeah. But anyways, okay. Well, either way, very cool, fun. I'm surprised to see them giving us something in the middle of a 0.5 patch that is going to carry through to the expansion, but it's also something that makes sense and chance, right? I would be, why not make these embellishments for armor?
Yeah.
That's surprising, but maybe that's just because they'd be too powerful.
Yeah, I mean, chance, we've had the basic, give yourself so much stat for like 20 years now. It's cool to get something new and unique out of them that isn't just that.
All right. Well, anything else out of 11.5 is, so here's actually,
do we care about the Dastardly Duo?
Yeah, so I thought it was on that other page, but it's not. So I'm gonna just read this. I'm not sure what's going on.
Vinny
Sweets, showrunner and announcer, is promoting Dastardly Duos, a new 6-week event where players can step up and take on animatronic versions of past bosses, gain power-ups, and strive for higher and higher scores for bragging rights.
Oh, fun.
So again, like a Torghast roguelike thing again.
Let's duo.
This is your party patch right here.
Yeah,
you and your party will fight 2 or more bosses at a time, to rack up your highest score and earn a variety of cosmetics, toys, and even some dungeon items based on your bosses you encounter. Testing the event on PTR will begin on March 17th, which is 10 days from now as a recording. And it will be a 1-week duration on the test instead of 6 weeks. Be sure to log in and test it. So obviously, I think all of us should log in and test that, except Scrap. She never logs in anything.
I don't.
It'll just be Frank and I, because nobody else will go.
So we will be the duos. And then we talked about this, and now we have Holly Longdale living up on her promise, Scrap.
Sorry, Holly.
The cooldown manager is coming into this patch, which will help people track cooldowns. This is one of the critiques that Taliesin gave on his video about, how good the UI actually is, but there was something like this missing. So seems to be the first item they're checking off their list, and hopefully more to come. So that's awesome, and I look forward to seeing more about that. But for a 0.5 patch, this sounds pretty darn good.
I'm surprised do they normally talk about the 0.5 patch like 1 week into the patch?
Well, they normally do announce it like week 1 or week 2.
Oh, really?
But it is a little surprising they put it up on the PTR so quickly, like day 2 of the patch.
Yeah, that's
they usually I'm kind of broadcast what's coming and then say a week later it's on the PTR.
I don't want to think about the 0.5 patch. I'm enjoying the 0.0 patch.
One encouraging thing about it though is that they at least know what direction they want to go, which is good because they're not just making stuff up as they go.
Yeah, I assume not. I mean, I'm assuming all the development is happening on like the next expansion by now.
Oh
Yeah.
no, they're working 2 to 3 expansions in notice.
Yeah, the player housing, they've been working on that for like 5 years now. This is all just crap they whipped up.
Okay.
Who knows?
So before we go into our main topic, sorry.
Oh, what was Lithian gonna say? He was gonna say something.
Well, he's just
groaning.
No, I said no about player housing. I don't want to talk about player housing. Let's go.
Okay.
Move on. Next.
We know to kick off when player housing takes off and put.
Yeah, you're gonna get the lot by the sewer entrance.
So before we go into our main topic, I just wanted to. I know we talked about the raid, but I don't think we actually talked about the likes and dislikes of it so far.
First impression. Let's see that.
Yeah, just first impressions. The new raid. Does it live up? So I mean, I don't even know if we actually gave it our hype level excitement beforehand, but
we did. Yeah.
Did
I
it
give
live
it
up?
5 big booms.
Do you think it lived up to your expectations? So we'll start with
let me.
Nope.
Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
dude,
Okay,
100%. I love the raid, man. I'm having fun. The tank mechanics are the same as all the other raids. Basically, there isn't a whole lot of new there, but the bosses are fun. The mechanics that everybody else has to do is entertaining because I get to watch them all fail them. And I don't know. I'm having a good time. I think it's great. The raid itself is well done, and you know, the little details all throughout is pretty cool. So I'm down.
Okay. What about you, Asky?
Pretty much agree with everything Lithian said. As far as the character of everything, the bosses are all very fun, and they have mechanics that they've had in the past, but new unique takes on it, like those speaker things that you gotta drain, and just stuff that's very unique to the theme. It's fun when you're killing trash and Scrap is just off golfing at all the little details they put in the casino.
Yeah.
I think my only thing that I was a little disappointed in is I'm not a big fan when they do, oh, it's the area you're in just instanced. I wish there would have been more of like a fortress to invade and take down than just going through the city streets and then going to the casino. But that's all. But it's pretty good.
I don't know why, but I fucking love when they do that. like Siege of Morales and like Battle of Dazar Allure. I'm like, I was just here, but stuff is happening now for some reason. Yeah, that's just me though.
Well, what's your
like
thoughts?
Okay, so visually, it's the best one since Castle Nathria. Like, when we got into that casino, I lost my goddamn mind. I was looking at every little detail.
I was losing my mind as raid leader, trying to get everyone to focus while you were
trying to herd people. Dude, I was literally I was sitting in chairs. I was following roulette balls around like the wheel. I was in the aquarium. You can go in the aquarium. It's sick. Like the interior of the casino lives up to my wildest dreams and beyond. I just wish I could play the fucking slots. Can you please just make it a time waster? Like let me waste time while Frank's trying to explain a boss. Like play the slots. I think the bosses are all really cool concepts, cute concepts. I think I like Muggsy a lot. That was a lot of fun. But I really think we're gonna have to see it on Heroic to actually get a good take of it because the Gallwix I found very disappointing. There's not a lot going on. Maybe in Heroic there will be. It just seemed kind of like for a DPS it was just kind of bullet hell. The phases didn't feel really distinct to me. Yeah, and they weren't flashy either. Like for like such a flashy fucking raid, like it felt like it didn't even feel like it could be penultimate boss. You know what I mean? Like I thought Muggsy was more interesting. And like when I think of like a good ultimate raid boss, I think of like multiple distinct phases where we like go somewhere or like significant things chat. I was expecting his mech to like the head to get on like a mech body or something, like something really crazy.
It did.
I missed it. I didn't even see it. No, like a huge one. Yeah, I like missed it.
It was a huge one.
I didn't even notice that. Oh, at the very end. Yeah. Okay. I remember now.
Not at the very end, at the 50% mark.
Was it? I don't remember.
Where
I don't remember. I was so zoned out because it was really boring. All I did was.
I will agree with you though that it doesn't feel epic.
Yeah, and it kind of brought a thought to my mind of like they always nerf raid bosses, but they never buff them, so this boss isn't going to get any better. I'm hoping on Heroic.
Well, we've already discussed it's clearly much harder on Heroic.
Yeah, they needed a bunch of healers, but I think like a healing check doesn't make the boss more exciting to me.
Well, that's not a healing check. 8 healers is not a healing check.
This feels like this kind of feels like Sarkareth, but just the raid itself was a lot more fun altogether. But
Sarkareth
it's just kind of like a side thing.
But even Sark had like a crazy last phase that was like insane and flashy, and there were lights going off and stuff.
I'm not talking like the boss himself. I just mean I think everything made it seem better than it was, but it was really just kind of a side thing that was supposed to lead us to the next big story part.
Yeah, for me, the last raid boss, the flashiness is a lot of the excitement.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
When I think of like,
example,
I was gonna say that, Frank, because like the last phase of Razageth, there's not a lot you're doing mechanically besides just trying not to die.
Every phase of Razageth was great.
Yeah, well, I know, but when I'm thinking of like saying mechanics isn't like necessarily like the life and death of it. The last phase of Razageth is so fucking fun, and there's not a lot happening mechanically. It's just so flashy, so exciting. You've done so many phases, you've been so many different areas. It's like a 5-phase boss, dude, and they're all super distinct. Yeah, I want to see. Razageth really was, I think, a benchmark last
Is
boss
that the
for me.
bar? The bar is Razageth.
For
You
me,
guys
yeah,
get better than
honestly,
that?
in recent memory, that's like the best. I like Denathrius also, but Razageth is definitely like
So-
I think that was a cool.
We'll see it
boss.
on heroic though, because I mean, Gallwix on heroic might
Well,
be
you'll
better.
see it on Mythic, I ask you, because apparently
Yeah,
there is a
No.
myth. Everyone's convinced there's a Mythic only phase.
that's what they say.
So
Oh,
maybe that'll
that's
be fun
good.
and exciting, but
I'll be disappointed. I mean, Technique will be happy because that's what he always said. He's like, Mythic Raiders should get something extra special for the being such special boys.
well, special boys
so-
quit and unsub. So what does he know?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
But I'll be disappointed because I do think that boss needs something.
Yeah, I agree. So
Yeah.
and this is, I think I said the same thing for a Nerebar Palace. We've only done on normal. We've done a couple on heroic, but nothing to really talk about. I was disappointed with Nerebar on normal. I'm disappointed with this so far on normal. Theme wise, you're right. It knocks it out of the park, right?
Yeah.
Everything feels fun, but 3, maybe even 4 of the bosses that are at the start all happen in like in the Undermine area where it's like, I'm just gonna call it trash heaps of sorts. Like obviously there's the trash boss, but even the arena boss with the Kong and Godzilla fight feels like a trash heap to a degree. The first boss is in like a fire flamed cordon off trash heap area. So like that kind of feels like a little bit of a weak start. But
Bro,
even all
you
that, I
can
can
get
throw
run
all
over
that
by
aside, though.
cars.
Yeah, I can throw all that aside though, because that like doesn't really bother me one way or the next. But the fights just don't seem like everyone on the PTR. We're talking about the first boss being like one of the best first bosses ever.
What the fuck? No,
I think
the
the first boss is boring as shit.
Nothing. It's so boring. The oil
tank
isn't
buster
even
is called
fun.
tank buster.
Even on heroic, yeah.
Yeah, on heroic, it's like, ooh, I'm a slippy slidey for 1 second. It doesn't even do anything. Like
I
sucks.
would take any Dragonflight first boss over this one any day. Like Aranog, that dragon in
Not the first one in
Aberist.
Vault. The Vault one sucked. It was boring.
I don't even remember.
Aranog
I
was
couldn't
alright.
tell you a single first boss of any Dragonflight raid.
Yeah,
What?
this was very
Wait, the dragon was sick actually in the first boss.
uninspired.
Yeah, the purple dragon. That was a sick first boss. That's all
And
I got.
you didn't like the tree with the roots in Emir still?
Gnarl Root, yeah, that was a good one too.
I love Gnarl Root because it felt fun burning the roots and like doing that mechanic.
Oh, I could not even fucking remember that boss. I was like,
because you couldn't do the mechanics.
You're a donkey.
Yeah, no, that was a decent first boss.
But even the boss we did today. Sorry, go on, ask you.
No, all those fights had just like 1 or 2 mechanics, and they were just a good introduction into the raid, and they all had like a burn phase, and you got to feel really cool and powerful. And
you
this
did
one
something very unique.
Yeah. This one was just kind of. And what's weird too is you do the same thing several times throughout this entire raid. You got the motorcycles in this one. You got the trash in the other one. You got the casino chips. It's a lot of just pick something up.
At least the trash one is very unique in how you interact with it.
Yeah, the trash one that's like, I feel like every raid has to have some sort of unique thing, and the trash one is like the Katamari one is like this one's. I didn't get a chance to really experience it because I was rolling around in the ball so much I didn't fire it into the boss.
Because you can't do the mechanics, right?
I was really disappointed. I was like, oh man, I got this like huge ball, and then it just disappeared because I took too long. But yeah, I will say the Gorilla T-Rex boss really did 2 heroic bosses, but that one was way fun on heroic. I think there was a lot of
fun.
You didn't think it was fun?
You didn't like it?
It was fun to tank. It's just positioning those guys is so hard because they don't move very well, and it's just mechanics. If everybody did the mechanics properly, it'd be boring.
It can't get
we're just goofballs.
Maybe that's
why. It felt more fun when we were like randomly getting both things, and like Cal was trying to find this tiny perfect spot to put the fire because we literally Hero almost came back up.
Because we're so bad at.
But even the gorillas were triggered. Like if they touched a dead body, they'd trigger. And I was like,
that's
an issue. That might be a bug. Yeah.
But you know what? We were like, I was trying, at least like towards the end, I was trying to make sure they weren't going through dead bodies. That gave a little bit of spice. Like,
Well,
to it. I was
on the
looking
other
at
hand of
myself.
that, though,
bit of
like if they
spice.
keep triggering on the same dead body, they'll just keep triggering the lightning on that same spot. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like
so it's one
that's fine.
spot. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just was like, is that really a fun mechanic? You know, like
I thought
because
it was
I was
fun.
really annoyed that they fixate on someone, but they can break on anyone. Imagine if that happened on the one Grim Batol boss. That would be criminal. Like,
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be very interesting if it didn't do that.
No,
No, like
well,
that's
you
the only thing
know-
that's interesting.
On the gorilla side, the thing that annoyed me the most was the random hunter that would come running past me and then stun me because they let their
wasn't me, I
bar get
wasn't-
too full.
Hold on, I wasn't on Lithium
it
side.
was. I think it might
Somebody
have
else.
been someone whose name starts with S and ends with dupe. Dude.
in fairness, he did really well when I gave him instructions on things that I saw him doing. So
Yeah,
good
he's
for
he's
him.
learning. He's good. Yeah,
Good for Stoop.
he's taking the criticism to heart. Doing better.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have only seen those on heroic, but what are some high points of the raid otherwise, as far as fights and mechanics go?
Okay, as opposed to visually.
Well, yeah, just I mean, again, I feel like we need to reserve a final
Arm-
judgment once we see all of our AOTC
Yeah.
fights. But
One Armed Bandit's pretty sweet. I like that one a lot.
Which one
I
was
like
that one?
I like bosses
The
where you
chip?
get to choose the
Yeah,
destiny.
yeah. The
However,
slot machine.
everyone has
Oh, I like
unanimously
that one.
agreed that the lightning key or coin is like the worst key, and so they never do it. And now it's prescribed again. You know, like it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, that you
Yeah.
have to pick a specific thing. The coin mechanic where you have to get close to it, that should have been throughout the whole fucking raid because it's so funny.
Whole
And it's a
raid.
gambling raid. Like
Just
every
coins
single
randomly coming in.
No,
like
no,
the
not
six.
just the coins, but there should be a gambling mechanic to in every single boss. That's just my take because that was really fun. Just like you got to get close enough to not get hit by it, you know, like gambling with your
Alright.
life.
What else?
I like Muggsy. I thought Muggsy was really fun.
Muggsy's my favorite. I think at least from
Definitely
what
up
we've
there.
I
done so
didn't,
far.
I didn't like him that much either.
You didn't. You know what this raid is missing? It's got no council fight. Like, why? That would be easy. Just
people
put it in.
usually don't like council fights.
Yeah, but it's
generally.
nice. It's nice to say, "Oh, it's a council fight. Boo! We got to do
I-
this." You know what I mean, it kind of breaks it up a little bit. I felt like a lot of these bosses felt very samey. It was a lot of pick
Yeah.
up specific item. Don't put that pool here. Like,
Bro, hold on,
you know?
hold on. I feel like Sprocketmonger on heroic is going to be chaos.
Oh,
We
the
have to
conveyor
see-
belt.
Oh, I wanted to do that boss so bad. I DC'd at the beginning of it, and everybody was
Oh,
having the best
God.
time.
Dude,
folks, she didn't DC. She
That-
just died.
that-
I did.
Yeah,
No,
she-
I
She
literally.
fell down a hole.
I did not. We pulled. I DC'd. It kicked me out. It was giving me captchas, and then the game updated,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
literally
You're the only
couldn't
person I
log
know
back
that has
in.
captchas.
I get
in the-
captchas.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't log back in until everybody was like, "This is so fun! It's so crazy! We're having the best time ever!" That boss
Oh,
was
you-
so good, and I
No,
missed
that
the whole
one-
thing.
Bro,
no,
that was a
one's
good
bad.
chaotic. That one's
It,
chaotic.
it's
It's bad.
chaos.
It looks
it's
so fun.
It's
it is
very
fun because it's
difficult.
chaos.
To tell what's going on. I the first time we did that, I was just trying to do my rotation correctly. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm surprised I'm not dead. The second
Oh,
time I
man.
did it, it made
I
a little
really-
more sense.
I
But
You
can't
missed
wait
it,
to
dude.
try that.
You missed it. So you
Um,
reserve judgment until you do that.
I'm heartbroken. It just looks
I-
so fun.
I
I
am
wonder if
happy.
sorry, man.
I am happy to hear you kind of being a bit critical of it because at the same, I was kind of in the same boat the first day we did it. I'm a little bit higher on it now, but I thought to myself, is this just being carried by the theme, and then the fight design kind of took a backseat to that, and that's kind of maybe what I'm
Based
thinking. might have
on what
happened.
Max and all them were talking about in other streams, they all felt like there was no good fight that stood out as a like the
Yeah.
what's the fight in the Sylvanas' raid where he has the bombs that not bombs but the spike balls that keep rolling.
Oh,
Halandras.
Painsmith.
Oh,
Painsmith,
Painsmith.
right?
Painsmith.
Like there's
Painsmith
no
is sweet.
Painsmith, there's no Halandras,
Yeah, there's
right?
no like iconic.
man,
Oh,
that's-
Halandras, yes.
Right. So-
yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah,
and that
I agree
definitely
with that.
seems to come through. However, again, I'm wondering now. Actually, I think about it. I wonder if I don't like it as much because I'm playing DPS but raid leaning, and so like I'm not
You
even
did that
really.
last season.
Well, I know, and I didn't like Narobar Palace to start with, right? Like it was just not that fun for me.
Narrowbar Palace, low key, not great. I stand by that.
It was an okay raid. It was an okay
It was
raid.
an okay raid. It's a very forgettable raid.
The,
I already
the
forgot
Princess Kaiveza fight was awesome.
That was good, but I felt like
let's not rehash this.
we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
Narrowbar
you guys-
Palace.
you
This
guys
will be our
just
first
rehashing.
impressions of this raid.
Yeah.
Failure.
But yeah, I mean, like Gallwix was a huge bust for me. I think Mugsy maybe better on heroic. We'll see.
You didn't like Mugsy? I thought Mugsy was
I don't
fun.
know. Maybe I was just annoyed by people putting up that fucking wall thing incorrectly. But
the cages,
anyways,
yeah.
But the conveyor belt boss was fun. I don't know if it's gonna necessarily be good to play fun, but it was definitely thematically fun.
That's gonna be the Painsmith, Frank, as far as walls.
Yeah. And then I thought the trash pickup boss was fun enough that I was okay with it being simple. Now, granted, on heroic it might be hard and fun, so hopefully that's the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the DJ boss. You know, yeah, it was like okay, fine. And again, these are like the third and fourth boss slots, so it's not like I shouldn't be setting the bar too high.
They should have made the DJ boss the council fight. There's 3 DJs that you're fighting.
That could have been a cool idea.
Similar mechanics.
Like a group, like a Blue Man group.
Why are you shoehorning councils in here?
There's no council fight. There's been a council fight in like every raid since the beginning of time. Why is there no council fight?
What do you call a council fight? What's the qualification?
There's more than one guy.
What about Cauldron of Carnage? There's 2 of them.
No, there needs to be more.
Oh, okay. So then there has to be 3
guys.
Yeah,
okay.
Council has to be a 3.
I know. I'm just clarifying.
Otherwise, it's just a team.
Yeah,
it's just a duo.
It's just a duo. Yeah.
One last little criticism I'd like to throw in there is getting from boss to boss in that first area, and the street trash is kind of obnoxious. Was not my favorite part. It was definitely
getting run over.
Oh,
you don't like getting run over?
No, getting run over is a positive. I think that's a hilarious thing to do.
Not talk about things I wish there was, but why can't we use the cars in a raid boss, please?
Yeah, that would
just
have been
make us get from here to there like they did in T-Swizz. What was her name? T-Swift?
Yeah, imagine if they did like a boss
just here to there.
If like that Vinny Swift guy in like a big racetrack, and every phase you had to drive from like one end of the track to like the other side. That would have been kind of cool.
And then whoever wins gets a buff.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Whoever loses dies.
The buff is just called bragging rights, and it's just good job.
Can we talk about the car a little bit? Because last week I was really meh about the car and disappointed in the car, but I have since mastered the car, and I love it.
You haven't mastered.
I have.
You're a real breaknecker.
Actually, I want everybody to know that I have gotten gold in all the car races, and I really enjoy the car. Like once you get a feel for it, it's great, and I'm sad that it's probably never going to be touched again.
Well,
there should have been like a car race part in the middle of a boss
with monster trucks,
or like T-Swift.
With how divisive this car is, I don't think
I've turned around on the car. I love the car. I've mastered it.
Is concentrate bad or
don't say anything.
Oh.
I'm good, dude. I mastered it, you donkey.
Phoenix? Well, no, I think it will be touched again. From what I'm being told is anyone that's using a mouse to drive the car is doing it wrong.
I use a mouse to drive the car.
What?
The fuck?
I use the mouse.
That's what I've been seeing all over Twitter is that people are saying like
people on Twitter are such fucking doggies. They even have the breaknecker title like Scrapclaw does.
Oh my god.
Let me tell you. I'll teach you how that you got a handler like a woman. Very gentle.
That makes sense. No one on Twitter knows how to handle women.
Exactly. Anybody needs card tips, ask questions in the comments. I'll come in there. I'll help you out. And I will use woman analogies so to make it easy for you guys.
Don't do that. Anyways.
So is that enough of a car tangent there, Scrap?
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to say that
enough.
like if you didn't like the car, like try to really get into it, try some races and stuff, really commit to driving it around. It's really a good mechanic. The area just doesn't let it shine, I feel
Scrap,
like.
you need to figure out a way to get the an MDL minigame with the car, like something we can do as a
well, we can do a time trials. Like,
no, but we have to do something else. We have to, but remember with the dragon racing, we had like a scavenger hunt into it as well.
You know, like those last man standings where people are like holding a wall, like, and then last person holding the wall gets like $1 million. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can we do? Everybody goes into the center, and whoever is doing donuts the longest wins. If you hit a wall, you're out.
So
I'd win.
So it'll last.
You can do donuts indefinitely. Yeah. No, dude.
Win.
No, Lincoln and I can do donuts indefinitely. I don't get tired. I donut. I got the perfect angle.
So I just gotta send a captcha to your computer, and you'll get disconnected.
Yeah, something like that. But
whichever one of us pukes first.
Yeah, I was gonna say literally what will stop me is the intense motion sickness that you get from doing donuts for more than 30 seconds at a time. Something like that, maybe.
All right. Okay.
It's gonna be long though.
Yeah. We'll report back more, and we'll do a tier list of all the bosses. When we get through it all and all that stuff.
I feel like every time we do normal, we're like, I feel a little disappointed. You know, there's normally like one boss I'm okay. Then we get into heroic and we actually get to feel out the mechanics. We actually have to do them and stuff. Like, I get a chance to like interact with every kind of thing that like, you know, the pick you mechanic. Like some mechanics I just never interacted with because I never got picked. We have fucking 30 people in our raid. Like, but so it's let's try the heroic. I was pleasantly surprised because I thought the dinosaur gorilla was super forgettable on normal, and it for a second boss, you know, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I might warm up to it because you made a point though that the chaos was fun, and I agree with that. The chaos was fun.
They should have, if that was the first boss, it would have been the greatest first boss of all time. Why didn't they do that?
Oh my god!
It was
all right.
Anyways,
okay.
So we will move on then to our main topic today, which is we're going to do again initial snap judgment of the new dungeons in season 2. Okay, now there's an asterisk on this tier list as we build it, but we will let you guys give us your tier list in the comments. But some of us haven't done all the dungeons yet.
Can we be clear, Frank, before we get into this, the metric? This is like best dungeon, worst dungeon, not like easiest to time.
Yeah. Right. This is our initial, let's call it the fun tier list.
It's fun, yeah. The quality of the dungeon. Is this dungeon memorable? Am I going to be talking about the fun I had this dungeon 3 expansions from now? The mechanics unique, the visuals good. Not like this one's easy, this one's hard. Like I just want to just for the commenters and stuff before you call us donkeys. This is art that we're judging.
They call you donkeys?
Yeah, they call me donkeys all the time. Sorry, go on, Frank. Introduce the topic, Frank, please.
Well, and then have you re-explain it to everyone so they understand.
Okay, so the topic is
we are going to start with the dungeons that have come back. Okay. So
that's easy.
I was a little worried about Theater of Pain, but I will admit I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. So I will let you guys decide where it goes first. So you think Theater's an S dungeon?
I think it's an S.
Theater of Pain.
We love Theater of Pain.
Watching you guys go down to the arena and talk trash to each other and not just die.
I'm undefeated also so far.
I stopped trying.
Number one, it's ridiculous.
Because somebody died and then Frank was like, "Okay, we have to do it. Be serious." But the first time I went down with Frank, he only did 1% of my health.
But to be fair, I love Theater of Pain when it was originally introduced.
We're not.
Oh my god. So yeah, to me, I love Theater of Pain.
I'm losing my voice, Christ.
This is why your mic's speaking because you're yelling so much.
It's peaking. It's peaking.
All right. As from the two idiots over there,
but Io hasn't really experienced Theater of Pain, so I want to hear his.
We ran.
I didn't play
before.
I didn't play Shadowlands, so I've never really did this. This is my first time doing it. I love the theme of the dungeon. I like that doing the PvP boss was really fun. It kind of reminds me a lot of what was that one? What's the Black Rook Hold? It kind of reminds me of that one where it's just very straightforward, very from boss to boss, and they're all just very quick and they're not super complicated. The hook bosses seems like that's going to be something that's going to catch some people off guard if they haven't done it before. I'd give it an A. I like it. There's nothing about it I didn't like. I don't think we did it on a 2. Unfortunately, we did own a 2, so I couldn't really experience it like I would have maybe on like a higher key level. But so far I like it. I think the theme's good. The bosses are cool. It doesn't seem egregious in any way, so I'd give it like an A.
I think early reviews of this is saying this is going to be an easy one to time also.
Yeah.
Which adds to the fun.
I just realized as we go through each one of these dungeons, I'm going to talk about a way that Lithian has slighted me in these dungeons.
Go on then, it's fun.
Yeah, go for it.
How did he slide you?
Do you remember when we did Theater of Pain and we were on our way to the PvP boss? And Lithian used his, what's the DK spell that lets you run fast?
Oh,
That's advanced. It's not
So
that fast.
he was like, hurry, we
and
can
he's
skip
like,
this
no,
guy.
he didn't even say hurry. He goes, come on, guys, what are you waiting for? As he's
Like
like
a mile
600
down
yards
the
ahead of
road.
us. And he's like,
Yeah.
I
"You're gonna
skipped him
pull it."
fine.
That
You
was
guys all
great.
died.
That was
Yeah.
great.
So,
The second
that's-
person behind him was like not even close.
Because
The
of that,
play-
I'm only
the
putting
play
it in
is
the
to
A
skip
tier
that.
because
Oh.
Liam slighted me.
I mean,
What?
Frank's fucking slow followed me every time. And
Yeah,
that
no,
Okay.
he slow falls me
upset,
all the
yeah.
time.
The biggest
It's me.
prankster.
So we're all
Oh,
pranksters
you know what?
here.
Actually, this is gonna be the best season ever because there are so many good areas to slow
I've been
fall, you
slow
guys.
falled in every single fucking dungeon we've done. I don't know if that's possible. And every single
Okay.
time, like in Rookery, I literally didn't. I've never done it before, and so I thought like you just fall slow, and I see all you guys at the bottom, and I click it off, and then I died because I missed the feather.
Okay.
I
Oh
realized
my
I was supposed to
god.
click something.
So
We're not
Theater of
talking about
Pain,
that one yet.
Yeah.
A good bring back, right? And
A
you
plus,
were excited
dog.
about this.
Yeah, it's living up to it.
I will put it at the top of A. Okay, we won't let anyone
Okay.
go ahead
All
of it in
right.
A. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what else came back? Let's start Operation Mechagon. I haven't done the redo of it yet. Has anyone else?
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
did
I've
on
done
a
it.
2,
Done it
so
a
I
couple
didn't.
times.
I only did on a 2, so I don't know that I don't really know what the mechanic of the first boss is. We just kind of brute forced it. Like,
That
Jessica, I
one-
love that you have tried to exert your knowledge
Go
of
on,
your
Io.
dominance
Go on.
Dom knowledge, and she still had to get her opinion in first.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go on,
I've
Io.
done it on at least a 4, so I think I know it. No,
Okay, let's hear it then.
I put this one in B. So the bosses are all pretty fun. The
Wait,
the first
did you do it
one's-
before? Have you ever done it before?
No, I didn't do it. I didn't play BFA. I didn't play in Shadowlands.
Didn't it
so I
come
didn't
back?
do-
Yeah,
Didn't it come
Shadowlands.
back?
I think this is the
playing-
third.
I started playing retail seriously in Dragonflight, so I've never played this one before. So the dog boss is cool. It's got the dispel mechanic. It's a cool little healer boss, and I also learned that you don't want the dogs to break the boxes. That's bad.
Yes. it was bad.
The bullet hell boss is really fun, but it can get chaotic if people just start running all over the place. The bosses
Imagine
are
not
fun.
being able to see the cogs, bro.
Yeah, yeah, go on. Sorry, Io, go.
The
Go ahead.
bosses are fun. The trash is fine. I actually would have given the dungeon an A, but the only reason I'm giving it a B is for that stupid Metal Gear Solid section that I watched somebody. We literally lost like 10 minutes to when I was doing it the other day because people just couldn't figure it out. That's probably the only reason I give it like a B.
Didn't they make it so that you couldn't summon in that dungeon
you can't,
because
you can't.
people would summon that
Yeah.
area?
Yeah.
They low-key made it harder because I was like, oh, I know how to one
It's
phase
not
this, and then I
It's not harder.
I was stuck behind for 2 fucking full minutes because I'm so
it's
greedy.
It's the same.
The platforming Super Mario conveyor belt was like, all right, this is already
just
kind of
walk the
annoying,
edge.
but it's fine. Yeah, it's whatever, you get it. But then that part I was like, this is not my favorite thing ever. So I don't like when they do little weird stealth mini games in the middle of my dungeon crawl. So
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll
Well,
learn to love it.
Now, Lithium,
Yeah.
have you done it at all?
no, not yet.
All right,
So
scrap.
I've done it before, but I didn't do it.
No, I know. What I want to know
Yeah.
is the difference they've changed to that first boss.
I don't know what the mechanics are on the first boss.
Is it-
It's the thing doesn't fixate on you. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I don't
that
think
boss
it even
is
has a
pretty cool.
frontal.
So you stand on the
I know the
on
mechanics.
you don't want the lines, but you need to get someone to break the plates off it or something, or
Yeah.
aim the,
Yeah, you just tank it. You tank
that-
it by the
tank
hammer.
to
the
smash
wall.
it into the hammer.
That
and
was
it
the
loses
same.
plate.
So the big
That's the same.
fire. What was the guy? Flame Leviathan or something? Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or am I
Yeah,
confusing
that
boss?
sounds right.
Yeah. It would like fixate on people and also frontal really hard. I don't think it does either of those things.
So
It charges.
This doesn't fixate on people, but what it does is it yeets them in the air.
No,
I think.
Oh yeah, it does.
It
It
picks
does.
somebody and charges that person. That person should point it at a wall.
Okay, yeah.
So-
It didn't seem very good. The
Well,
one thing
Lithium,
I'll
in
say,
fairness, that may not be the case anymore.
no. Now it knocks you like way up in the
I
air.
know all the mechanics from the dungeons from just watching people do it.
Yeah,
The
I'm gonna
main-
reading.
put my challenge flag on that one, but we'll get to that later.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
The main thing that they changed that I noticed was a lot of the spell effects. They made them exceptionally clear. Whereas,
Right.
Yeah.
well, okay,
The
Io, go
cogs.
on.
Can I tell a quick story on this? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Oh,
cut
Yeah,
you
go
off.
ahead.
I'll let you finish. But in this dungeon, there's a fight where one part of like most of the floor lights up as the bad area you're not supposed to stand in, and
Mini
there's
boss.
a little pizza slice that you're supposed to stand in that doesn't
Yeah.
light up. Immediately after Scrap mentioning how good the new graphics are for standing and stuff. She then proceeded to get hit by that 3 times in a row.
I know. That, believe it or not, that graphic is improved from what it was. That was an invisible graphic.
It used to be pretty shit.
That one still needs some tweaking because it was a little unclear. Like where do I stand? Because like
just a little
darkness
definition
to the lightness. Yeah, it needed a little bit more definition of like lightness to darkness because it took me a minute to figure out. Oh, I see the pizza slice, but it was worse. And that bullet hell boss was fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like it was fun, but it was so egregious. You'd get hit by a
cog. It was deadly.
It was, and the last boss too. Like they made so many things so much clearer. And honestly, it's taken away a lot of the toxicity of the dungeon. It seems like easier but fairer. I still can't give my man's more than a B because I feel like it's an okay dungeon. B+ though, because there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just.
Other than it coming back for a third time?
I think that's hurting my enjoyment of it. Is that like, okay, dude, you're not like if it was Tazvesh coming back for a third time, I'd be like, I get it. This one, not even Junkyard. Like, come on, man.
All right, we'll tell your dog to sit down.
Oh,
all right. What about Motherlode? So who hasn't done it?
Wait,
I haven't done it, so I'm going to be completely quiet.
I've done it. The three of us did it together. I think
we did it together.
Yeah, we did.
This one,
and
so
I ask you haven't done it in the past, right?
I know, right? Yes.
What
this
about
one
you,
I give.
I've done it in the past. Yeah.
Okay.
Not
so.
It wasn't. Yeah. The thing about the dungeon now is still the routing in the beginning is a little bit worse because those robot dudes are a bit harder.
Yeah, they are.
Than I remember.
Mostly because of space.
Yeah, and it's so hard to pull a bunch of stuff. I enjoy the dungeon, but I don't know. The new boss, like the new boss things are okay. I'm just not. It's not my favorite dungeon though.
Okay, I ask you as a newcomer.
I ended up putting it in A because I do like it. It's fun. I don't think there's anything. The only thing I don't love are those mines that fixate you in that really small. And this is kind of a criticism of the whole dungeon. It's just this really small corridor, and it's really easy to pull stuff. And there's stuff that wants to toss you back, and there's these mines that want to chase you. It's basically just a struggle to be like, we're trying to just pull 4 mobs, but you end up accidentally pulling most of the dungeon. So
that will be resolved as you get to know because that route.
It was bad route.
Who did it back into BFA?
Gotcha.
Now they might change things based on that, but like, okay, so positives: the soccer boss, the football boss. Right?
Oh, that boss. That's a good one. Yeah.
Like they made the balls a lot more easier to kick, and like it just flows.
Yeah. I
don't know what they did, but they did something that just makes it feel a lot cleaner. The second boss with the ads. I have to look at how long it took for us to kill it, but it definitely, because like originally it had 4 ads and they'd spawn 2 at a time, and it doesn't necessarily do that anymore. But the ads seem to feel like they have a lot more health. I don't know.
So
it might have been when we did it. We just had a lot of low DPS people in my group.
That's the third boss, isn't it?
I think we were doing it wrong. So I learned there's an ad that gets empowered, and that's the only one you wanna actually kill.
Yes.
But I mean, I didn't know that when we were doing it that first time, so I was definitely fucking.
Well,
it up.
I did my run with
Way to
Moosham.
go.
You guys did a run by, like, I guess yourselves, but
No,
my run was with Moosham where I took Stoop. I don't think it was Exy, but we took 3 people who I'm not going to name names anyways because I don't want to dog on them.
You just named names. They were Leos.
Yeah.
Stoop gets his deserved comeuppance.
Frank is stupid.
Oh
yeah, no. I'll talk about how Stoop slighted me in this one, but we'll get to that
No,
later.
leave Stoop alone.
I haven't slighted Frank in this one yet. I
Just-
guess.
No,
to
you and
get
I
the
have not run this
viewers-
one together.
Just to update the viewers, Stoop is a bit. He's in the Leo category.
And anyways, okay. Here's the context of Stoop, just so you can know why I got so angry.
Be kind.
You know the last boss has a homing rocket, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Stoop. We did the homing rocket like 7 times before this, and we keep talking about like just run it out of the group, let it explode on you, and then come back in. And the second he gets the homing rocket, he then turns to our healer, who's his friend, turns to his healer, and just runs to the healer like for a hug, and hits everyone with the. And I just again like I just said it, dude. Anyways, okay, that's my stoop rant.
He had to get it out of his system.
Yeah. He did much better tonight in raid, so I'll forgive him a little.
Yeah.
So second boss, yes, you're supposed to kill the empowered one. The empowered one also stops chasing the person.
It's the third boss. You're skipping the fire.
No, the third boss.
Flame.
That's the third
She's
boss.
got a gun.
Scrap, you
That's
haven't
the
even
third
done
boss.
it. Keep
I
your mouth
haven't
shut.
done it. Never
Keep your
mind.
mouth
Never mind.
shut.
I take it
Can
back.
you sit down?
I thought that was
Yeah,
the
just
second
relax.
boss. Okay,
So,
okay, go on then.
Second boss. In the past, what you'd have to do is you'd have to try to AoE them down because they get empowered and start just AoEing like crazy. Now it just seems like this guy, I think he still AoEs, but he becomes tauntable and controllable. Whereas the other one will still chase. And again, this is like where pug killers come in. People don't know to like try to kite it back into the boss so it can be cleaved down. So it's just like off in the middle of nowhere. And again, like not a non-pug, whatever, a formed group would know better, and E-team would be fine with this scenario. Then we get to the last boss where no one understands the two little robots floating around and how they're going to shoot out missiles that are like instantaneous. And so I was explaining to this group, and Stoop is included in this, where I'm like, hey, follow me to this corner because the bombs won't go there. And then for whatever reason, they're standing out in fucking Egypt. And I go, hey, move. And then, of course, the missiles immediately and get them. I see this killing pugs for a long time.
No,
and so,
I will. For a long time.
Everybody does the great trick.
Oh, I
They
didn't
should
know
know
about
it.
that.
I don't know it. Yeah.
Oh.
I will say these things that you're laying out, I don't know that they're going to persist as pug killers. It's also the first couple weeks of the season. Like I know that I'm just jumping into keys without knowing them.
They'll persist because they persisted throughout the entirety of BFA.
Okay, so they're coming from an educated
You're giving people the benefit of not being donkeys in week 5 and 6. But
so the other thing though is that with the peacekeepers or whatever they're called, they have been changed pretty significantly to drop these huge puddles. Now, I think as a gameplay mechanic, this is good because the whole idea of that routing, and I ask you, this is a criticism of yours, is it's supposed to be like there's so much room, but there's not so much room because you don't want to keep pulling and butt pulling. But they purposely designed this guy to make sure that he like will make sure you cannot stand where you want to stand. But I actually think that'll be a good thing because maybe it's going to encourage us to change the way that we used to do it into doing it more of like a, pull it back a little bit and have all the room you need in the world.
No,
and it'll be easy.
It encourages weird skips that I hate.
Oh, I
remember doing a death skip in that.
That wasn't meta after I think like the last season of BFA.
Yeah, I think I only played the first couple of BFA.
Oh, but actually that was because they had that affix that let you port things, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, let's give it a score.
I give it a C, bro.
C. Okay. I ask you.
I don't like it.
I gave it an A.
A. Okay.
Yeah, you could split the difference.
Well, no, I would give it an A.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a
low
A.
High B. Okay, low A. That's fine.
Actually, no, a high B. I'm gonna give it a high B.
That's fine. That's fine too.
So those are the 3 that came back. We had a new dungeon, Operation Floodgate.
Yeah.
Who hasn't done it?
I have only done it in PTR.
Okay, it hasn't changed. So
I've done it on a 2. So
yeah, I've done a couple 3s. Scrap.
I did a 3 or maybe a 4. I can't remember.
Okay, so what do you think? Let's start with Scrap since she's been so quiet and patient.
I haven't done this one a whole lot, but I thought I like it. It's a cool little dungeon. The mechanic I thought was gonna be a big ass pug killer. The best friend shirt. What the fuck? The tether. God. Yeah. It actually played really smooth when we were doing it because it just made sense. Like just everybody move very carefully. Every time I got partnered with, and I got partnered with the pug every now and then. Now it turns out he like knew what the fuck he was doing. Like, but like
you and I
he
got
just
partnered. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the other thing is it doesn't like instantly kill you or something. It just snaps you, rubber bands you back, which can get you killed by a mechanic like that you're supposed to be dodging, but it doesn't instantly kill you, right? So I think that mechanic was actually worked really well. It was fun, and I was hoping to see more of that.
Well, we'll see how you feel about it in a 10.
Yeah, that's true. But I felt like it was more manageable than I thought. When I heard there was gonna be fucking tethering, like what was that? It was a Shadowlands boss where you got tethered with a friend, but when you broke, it was like it sucked. It was really bad. What was that boss? It was
I
in
don't remember.
It was in Castle Nathria. It was great, but that was a nightmare tethering situation. It was fun, but that would never fly in a key, and I was worried that this was what was happening, and that was good. The other boss, I don't really remember. The last
So
boss.
The boss with the bombs.
The bomb.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah,
Fine.
it's okay. Yeah, no, I like it. It's a good little dungeon. I'd give it a A, but below Theater Pain.
What'd you think about the buzzsaws, bro?
I like the buzzsaws. I wish there was a precast, like how the consecrates are in Priory now. Oh, like you can see where it's gonna be.
Well, no,
I
it's
guess
gonna be
on
it's
you.
gonna be where you stand. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I haven't quite figured out what the hitbox of it is yet, but I feel like if I walk the long way through it.
Think Bramble Burst from Miss Scythe. Just stand at a spot and then
Just
right
keep
before it's
moving.
about to go off, just
Yeah.
move, and it should
just
just be where you
And
were.
it gives you like
Yeah.
a 1 second grace period before you take damage.
The problem is you
Yeah,
can't sidestep into a spot where somebody else is standing.
Yeah, I don't know why my brain just is like a rectangle is harder than a circle to visualize, but I feel like that's genuinely a case of what's happening. I'm like,
It
what
may
if I
just
get
be a
stuck on
graphic
one
thing
end?
though, and it's actually really
Yeah.
just the same thing as
Well,
Bramble.
I hope it's not, because that would be confusing. But like, my fear is that, like, what if I have to walk this long way through this long saw and I just don't think to go either way? I don't know. Like, that's my fear. I only did it on like a 3 or a 4, so nothing like could kill me. But like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it graphically. I'm glad they fixed the noise. That was an issue.
Oh god,
apparently.
the buzzsaw would come out and scare the crap out of me.
But yeah, I need to feel it out more. I've literally done it one time ever. Well, and then I did it with Lithian.
I love it, man. I have fun with it. The bosses are fun. Once you understand the mechanics, it's still fun. I like the bomb boss. I like things like that. The last boss, the tank smash in the last boss is rough.
Dude, okay, can I just quickly jump in on
that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
we had trouble
I was doing
with
a 3, right? And we were, I mean, it was fine. Healing was, the expectation you would have in a 3. And then we get to the last boss, and this warrior, who by the way is pulling and killing perfectly, he was doing a great job.
Yeah.
He would take the tank buster, and no joke, would die within a half second.
Yeah.
Every single time. I would put whatever the green bubble on him. I had a trinket. Yeah, like Cocoon. I had a trinket that would add 8 million health to him, and it would do nothing to save his life. We only got done because we battle res them 3 times in the fight.
He did apologize. He's took credit. He was like, I'm doing something wrong. Like maybe not lining up his defenses or something, but
you got to have something for it.
Yeah.
You just got to be prepared for it. It hits hard though, but I mean otherwise.
So you love it.
Well, I do think that the bouncing electric ball is going to be something that is going to be for some reason difficult for pugs, but whatever, that's fine.
It doesn't seem to be something that wipes you.
What's that?
It's not super intuitive how it works, I feel.
Yeah.
But the only real issue with that fight, I think, is if you accidentally hit a puddle of water, you're stunned for a year.
Dude, a year. It's tough.
Okay.
Year.
I ask you anything else to add to it?
No, I pretty much agree with what everyone else said. It's pretty fun. The tether boss, we just all ran left, except for when you
goes left.
Except for when you had to dodge the water, then you just see where that originates and just understand, hey, if we're close to that, we're gonna need to be on our A game of dodging. And I agree with Scrap that it's not super punishing unless you're in the frontal, and then the evoker that you said 3 times, hey, go left every time, runs to the opposite side every time.
They just fly away.
Yeah, and then just boom, and then you get killed by the frontal. But yeah, it's pretty good. Especially for a dungeon that they just kind of added in the middle of the season.
Okay, let's give it a score.
I said low A, below theater.
Yeah, I can get with that.
I liked it. I'll give it A.
Okay.
Don't worry, the S's are coming.
I'm a little less. I'm on a B- kind of scale there, but I think it needs maybe time to grow on me, so I'll leave it there. Okay, let's go into the new the War Within dungeons that were part of the launch. Let's start with Cinderbrew Meadery.
Oh my god!
So Ioski, you're a healer, and from what I can tell, this might be, if not the highest, the second highest, hardest dungeon to heal. How do you feel about it?
We did this on the first day. I think we did a 2, and even the 2 was really difficult. That first room, I remember being like, "Holy crap, this is insane! How much damage is going out in a 2?" And you guys had a bug on your clock that said it was a 6, so I didn't even know if we were actually in a 2 or not. So that was weird. But yeah, no, this one's pretty rough. A lot of AoE damage. That, like you said, Frank, that serving phase on that first boss is very difficult to go through, especially if you have to help with it. You know, it's very
It seems like that the more you get the drinks out, the slower the damage is. Like, yeah, so like if you're quick to get like 2 or 3 drinks out, it becomes easier. I'm not sure if that's true or not though.
It's interesting to see. I know you said there's that engineer flamethrower you can get if you're an engineer, which I think Scrap will love using if she hasn't already.
Yeah, I did try it. Yep.
Is that like really strong, or?
I don't know. I didn't use it at the right time, I'm sure.
It's not that great.
But yeah, it's just a lot of damage. But the trash itself, I don't remember anything being particularly like egregious in terms of that's unfair or nothing I didn't like. The bosses are all fine. They all are pretty decent mechanically. Probably the only one I think we had a little issue with was the third one, and I think we messed that up, or there was a bug or something with how those bees work.
Because you can go either way you want.
The one where you have to ride the bee. That one's a little confusing. This is actually, like, as much as I do enjoy this dungeon, it's probably a big pug killer dungeon because it seems like there's a lot of like the IPA mechanics and the damage too. Yeah, the IPA mechanics and the boss mechanics can easily be unknown and messed up and but yeah, no, it's sweet in terms of its theme. It definitely could maybe use a little tuning though. But yeah, that's all I got.
Lithium?
It's hard. It's tough. And you know, forgetting that it's challenging. And to be clear, tanking it wasn't difficult. It was hoping that the healer can keep everybody alive and you know, putting all that stuff to the side. I don't know. It's not one that I enjoy a whole lot. Routing is fine. It's pretty straightforward. You know, the last boss is whatever. It's not. I don't know. It doesn't.
I like the last boss. I think it reminds me of that boss from Tolgor.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I just it didn't entertain me as much as some of the other dungeons would. And the fact that it's really hard makes people miserable. So I'm trying to forget about that and just think about the dungeon itself. But yeah, not a huge fan of it.
Okay. Scrap?
I only did it on like a 2 or a 3 with you, Frank, I think. And it didn't like wow me, but I don't think I saw it at a proper difficulty.
No,
but
I don't want to.
I felt like kind of it's a B for me, for as far as I saw. I did try to pug into a 4, and we wiped on like the second pull, and then the tank left. So
yeah, pugs are.
There was a tweet today about Vengeance Demon Hunters. Was it a Vengeance Demon Hunter?
No, it was a
about
paladin.
How, like, this season, all these Vengeance Demon Hunters who are chasing the meta will do like a donkey pull. Yeah, I don't know their spells, but like, you know, they literally tweeted like, you know, Vengeance Demon Hunter doing first pull with this spell and quitting immediately afterwards because they don't
set up. They don't set up right, and I don't think they understand how to play it.
This is
or they expect everyone to kind of play at that like stupid gameplay loop, you know.
Careful with your flavor of the month picks, but yeah, no, I have to give it a B, but star next to mine, I haven't really seen it. It just
I give it a C.
It didn't wow me. I give it the lowest B that you can give it.
What about you, Asky?
Yeah, I think I'm fine with B or C with the exact same asterisk of I need more time to really process it, because I agree with Lithian. The fact that it was difficult, I feel like really sours me on it, but I really do enjoy the concept of it, and I want to like it, but I think there's too much going against it right now.
I like the bosses a lot, but I think it's criminal how some of the trash have like significantly more health than the other trash. And so like the chain pulling gets, because all right, so there's that corridor, I think, on the way to the beer boss, the one that has the blobs, where they're these big guys that will keep charging, but they have so much health, and you can't really. I mean, maybe you can, and it's just I don't. But like, you can't really get more than 2 of them in a pull, because otherwise they just keep slamming into the walls and like AoEing everyone to death. And so like it just like the trash feels like it's taking so long, despite the fact that this dungeon feels like a small space.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's some upside that will come clear if they can do something about that trash health. But I love the bosses. I think every one of the bosses is great.
I don't like the first boss. I feel confident saying like I just don't like it.
I love the brawling going around and all that stuff.
Like visually it's kind of fun, but mechanically I didn't. I just like straight up was like, ew.
Okay.
Ew.
Like, I don't like having to
Ew.
pick up the thing and running it. Yeah, and it's a huge healing check when you're trying to do some stupid RP mechanic.
Let's
like,
keep going because I'm about to lose my my voice. So
okay, go on.
Darkflame Cleft.
I'm sick of this motherfucker who's done it so many times.
What do you mean you're sick of it?
I'm sick of her, dude. I don't want. I'm sick of her.
Who's her?
Yeah,
Her?
she's. I'm gendering the dungeons. Dungeons are women like cars and ships. I feel like.
Okay.
I feel like
All
I
right.
do. I do think that I've seen this key listed a lot in the group finder. This seems like a key everyone
only
has
key
been
we get.
getting.
We've
Yeah,
done Priory way more than this one.
I like Priory though. That's the difference. I feel like Darkflame Cleft is.
Oh
like,
man.
I think I like the candle boss. I like the last boss. The RP part with the cart in the middle is fun if it's done correctly. It's fucking god awful agonizing if it's done bad.
Yep.
I don't know. I think they did a great job of, even when it's done bad, it doesn't feel that bad.
You know what? The bosses for the most part, I don't like the statue boss. Really, I feel like
okay.
it's okay, but I would even say I don't like it.
It's not offensive.
Like, I find it a little offensive. I can't exactly say
she's
why.
a little offensive. Just
any boss where you get stunned for an hour, I don't like. But
you're not supposed to get stunned for an hour.
Sometimes I just touch it. Like I just it put me off. It put a bad taste in my mouth. I think we've done it too much.
Because you can't do the mechanics.
It's part of it. It's part of the review.
Dungeons where she can't ADD move, not in her repertoire.
It doesn't feel particularly difficult. Like the timer felt kind of cushy. We +2 to 6.
It is cushy, and bro, I'd say to me, I enjoy it. I think it's an A, but you guys can say whatever you want. I like the bosses. Even we yell at each other a lot, and us yelling at each other through the little train car part in the dark. Even that part isn't as bad anymore because you can kind of scoot through it if you know how to do it. I'm still working on it. But yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I like it. And the aesthetics are okay. Candles and stuff.
I ask you.
When this season started, I made a joke that how everyone didn't love Dawnbreaker in the when it was just heroic dungeon. I bet you it's going to become one of their favorite dungeons, and it was. And I feel like this is going to be the exact same thing. And I'm starting to think I'm right because I would give it like an S or an A if you wanted give it an A because of the minecart part or like whatever. But no, it's fun. The trash is all pretty good. The bosses are all unique and cool and have decent mechanics and it's just a fun dungeon. It's quick.
There's a good pace to it.
A good pace. The trash is difficult, but it's not. It encourages big pulls and there is a lot of AoE damage, but it's very spaced out, manageable. The first couple pulls where there's a lot of casters with the AoE damage can get a little hectic if you're not careful. And I like that there's something for everyone to do in it. Healers, obviously, this is their season. DPS have mechanics that they have to do on the fights, and then there's a couple different tank debuffs that happen throughout the dungeons that they need to be mindful of. So, yeah, no, it's a sweet dungeon.
Scrap just doesn't like
S or A.
Scrap doesn't like girl dungeons.
Lithian, what are you?
I'm an A.
A
and Scrap.
I give it the lowest B. I might just be sick of her. I don't know.
Is it ahead of Cinderbrew?
I feel like it is ahead of Cinderbrew because really what I'm thinking about, like, why don't I like it? Like the bosses are really good except for the statue, and that one annoys me. And the timer gives you enough room to kind of like do the cart boss and not feel super stressed by bullshit or the cart RP part. But I don't like you know what? I don't like inside dungeons.
That's what I was gonna say.
You don't
I said that in the past. I always I hated Stone Vault. Which is crazy because Theater of Pain is like my favorite.
Yeah.
I know. It's crazy because Theater of Pain is my favorite. But like Cinderbrew and Darkflame, I have the same feeling where I'm just like I don't want to. I don't know. I just maybe aesthetically it's too dark.
I think if
sorry,
yeah,
Theater of Pain is so bright and lively.
Think
it is. It's super lively.
If the theme wasn't like Underground Mind, I think I would appeal probably to her more, and I could see that too. That's probably my biggest thing about it is
it's Darkflame Cleft.
I don't know why I don't like her. I just don't.
Frank, let's go.
Frank, can we aggregate it? Can you put it as an A, please?
No, because between 2 S's and A and your donkey B, it's an S. No, let me tell you why. Bosses are all great, even if they're not necessarily that challenging. Like the minecart one, I thought was going to be a huge problem. Maybe it is on like a 10 because you have to deal with the ads more effectively.
The minecart one is great. I like it.
But it's just like fun. It's like fun to like see someone maybe get hit.
The candle one's the best one, I think, in the whole dungeon. The candle one,
and again, simple. It's not really that complex.
Yeah.
But it just thematically feels fun.
It's fun to do, yeah.
But
it looks cool too.
I'm giving it an S because that minecart section doesn't feel like the headache I thought it was going to be. It just feels like we're doing trash while stepping along the way, you know, like it just
you haven't done it with you haven't done it with a tank who did it one pull at a time.
You don't want to do a whole lot at a time anyways, because the one mob puts a really nasty stacking debuff that
the creeper.
Yeah, the creeper. If you get a couple of those, that can get a little hairy.
But like mechanics wise, like I'm not gonna be upset about things that are being punishing as long as they are manageable, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's not a bad thing to pull that section a little slow.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay. And yeah, I mean, on top of that, like the candle, I thought like getting the candles would just be so egregious, and it's not. And so yeah, let's stick in an S. It's early impressions. I could very easily see it falling back down. So
it's going down.
She doesn't like girl dungeons.
For last. Rookery. And this dungeon cannot be an S tier because of what Lithium did to me last night in the stream.
Oh, definitely S tier, bro.
Okay.
No one can give this dungeon S tier, right? I only did it last night for the first time as a 2, and you guys just trolled me instead of teaching me any of it, so I was dead most of the time. But
whatever,
I thought it was pretty meh.
Hold on. I'm going to clip right here, okay?
The great
scene, where we told you 3 times.
But you didn't tell me what would happen, so I thought. And now I'm still scared of greats to this day. She said
beams, just avoid the beams. Avoid beams. Scrap. Come on. I said stay off the grate.
I'm not on the grate. Look where I died.
How did you die to the beam then?
It was on the grate. Look where I'm standing.
It was on the grate?
It was on the grate.
No, look at where my body is. Look at where my body is.
I can't even see your body.
I'm not on the
grate. You're right on the edge of the grate.
I didn't know I could see on the edge of the
grate. I gotta run over to get scrap.
Yeah, run over to get me. Bring that guy back over. You didn't tell me what would happen. So I thought like being on the grate, like I thought there would be wind or something cutting out the grate. I didn't know that the grate was like just a marker for where I stood, because I would have stood in the middle of the grate.
Stay off the grate.
No, stay on the grate. I thought it was. Oh, stay off the grate. I can't remember. Yeah, you're right. It was stay off the grate. But I thought that
3 different times. Too.
I know. But I thought that like flames would come up or something. So I was kind of like I was on the edge of it. I thought I was in a comfortable spot. I didn't know a laser was gonna come and kill me instantly. You didn't explain it well enough for me.
I'm almost certain that the laser doesn't take up the entire grate either. So
it took up the whole grate. Took the whole grate. That's
your fault for not fucking listening. But
I don't really remember. We did it on a 4, and it felt like unbelievably fucking easy on a 4.
Oh yeah, it's.
So
the Rookery is one of the easiest dungeons, man.
Shadow Moon Burial Grounds vibes.
The hardest part of it, I think, is the last boss. Someone could mess up that.
Dude, the last boss.
Crystals.
The last boss is easy.
There was no mechanic. It was like literally just don't stack it on top of each other and then kill the crystal. Like I was like, what is the mechanic to this boss? Nothing.
Some people don't know how to kill the crystal.
Okay, but we're gonna know how to kill the crystal. That boss was disappointing because it looks like huge and awesome. Like it's be some like fucking Bomb Zombie, Mazala or something. Sorry, not Bomb Zombie, Mazala.
I will say on a 7, we wiped the first time, didn't have Lust for the second time. That last boss can be a bit of a slog if you're not taking advantage of that damage amp, and you lose a lot of that floor too, because when that debuff falls off, you drop a little pool on the ground, so you got to manage that too. It's definitely not a great melee boss. If you have multiple melee, they can get very
Shawnee and I
hard.
were
but they
sharing
give
a
you
side. We were
space for
fine.
days, so it should
Yeah,
be.
you have space. You have warning. You can just put it out and then go back.
But
I thought that boss was disappointing as fuck.
I don't like that boss doesn't let you know when the damage amp phase is happening. I can't like I have a little weak aura that will tell me when it's and even the weak aura doesn't like show up that well. It's just like, oh, we're supposed to be doing damage right now. It should feel a little more epic when he goes into that phase.
Yeah,
he does change like a position, but I don't even know really what
just
triggers
like
it. It just happens out of nowhere. Yeah, and
no,
sometimes
you'll see the storm guard people, whatever they are. They'll come down on a bird and like throw a hammer at him, but like the bird is the only thing that you pay attention to, and even then, you're not really paying attention to it because this big ass thing is still walloping away on the tank. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, inside dungeon, automatic B, probably.
Big ass.
Automatic B.
I like this dungeon.
You like it? I only did it on a 4, so I can't.
I love it. It's
listen.
It's similar to Darkflame. It's got that quick pace, and it's like 8 pulls. It's a very big pull dungeon.
It's a quick dungeon. Even though Frank pulls the packs, I tell him not to pull. He pulls it anyway, and we still get through it super quick. I mean, regardless of the 120%.
He insists on pulling 120% of every dungeon we do. So
yeah, fine.
Yeah. It's all good, manageable. Nothing about it seems particularly egregious, and it's fun. It's just a really fun dungeon. It's what Mythic Plus should be. This and Darkflame Cleft are what Mythic Plus should be for sure.
I just want easy dungeons. That's what he's touching it on. Well, I clearly said we don't put the easy dungeons up there.
Hold on, we haven't talked about Priory yet, and maybe my take is
everybody's
different, but
triple S-ing Priory, right? Because it's the best dungeon.
Yeah, I do. I fucking love Priory.
Yeah, let's get a score on the Rookery first.
What do you guys think? I think it's a B. You guys think it's better than B?
It'd be another S for me.
I think it's
below Theater of Pain, for the love of God.
2 S's?
Well, I also think Theater of Pain is S tier, to be fair.
Can you put it between Theater and Floodgate? Can we agree to that?
Like, I'm not going to put it in S tier just because I think the bosses are a little unimaginative.
Okay.
I thought there was only 2 bosses in there. Is there a third one? Because I don't even fucking remember it.
Yeah, you remember the one that Lithian said I was doing the mechanics wrong and then continued to guess?
Oh, she remembers that one.
That's another reason why it's not getting S tier.
I don't remember it.
Rookery can't break through the ceiling because Lithian's a fucking troll.
Oh, wait, yeah, I remember it, yeah.
Oh, now you remember?
Yeah, I remember it now. Right. I remember the arguing, yeah.
Priory of the Sacred Dick Off.
Bro,
Can we just rate it right now? We all give it the triple S tier.
Quick caveat: I've only been able to do half of this. The one time I was able to get into it,
only done half of it.
The group broke up after the second boss fight.
This is a rage quitter for sure.
No, okay. So Priory is challenging, right? But the pools are really big. The lieutenant bosses, the little mini bosses are, to me, they're a lot of fun. Even if
they're more fun than the first boss, which I think is a problem.
100%.
And you have choice. You can go
boring as shit.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the mechanic of the first boss is.
You can go right. You can go left. You can do different things.
Playground. It's so good. It's a playground. It's a dungeon. You can do anything you want.
The pools are so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not to healer because I don't know what happens there because but I like it. I love it.
I love it. Aesthetically, mechanically,
it's fun.
They fixed Consecrate. They fixed Consecrate so you can see it. And
this dungeon is hard but really fair. I feel like it's so fair. Like except maybe the last boss with the ad shit, like that's fucking annoying. But like the Consecrates, they give you so much warning. It's like there's so much stuff that can be like big pulls. It's like you want to take those big pulls, you're gonna have to manage it. You gotta stop them. You gotta knock them up. You gotta do all this stuff.
One thing about that first area I noticed yesterday is it's kind of a mini DPS check too, because those mini bosses have a lot of health, and if you take forever to kill them, by the time you get in the church, you already might be behind and then have to do like more trash. So
yeah, and some of those mini bosses, the one on the right, are fucking egregious, so you gotta really pick and choose.
I don't think it's that bad, to be honest, but
I think that one needs that. It's gonna give some old man a seizure and he's gonna die. So they need to tone it down.
She's talking about you.
Yeah, like you. Yeah, like you, Lithian.
I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I could go either way.
Boss is doing that mini boss is doing way too much. And
I went
tone it down.
Go ahead.
It's a great dungeon that I think just suffers from maybe a little too high in terms of the numbers. Just needs to be tuned down a little bit, and it'd probably be in a really good spot. Tuned down a lot more. No, it should be tuned down at all. You don't know?
When I went left instead of right,
That
it
changed
was
things.
it changed things a little bit for some folks, but the first boss was, I don't know, man. The first boss felt super long, and it's super for
We may
me
not
as a
be
tank.
doing
It's
it correctly
boring.
though.
Yeah, we still haven't figured out
Yeah,
how to do that boss. So
maybe
no,
we're
we
not
know how
doing
to
it
do
right.
it. We just don't know if we're doing it the
I'm
right
not
way.
sure.
Yeah, we whatever. We're still learning, but I still love the dungeon. I don't care what people say.
Yeah, it's a sweet dungeon.
Is it better than Darkflame Cleft?
Fuck, are you
Yeah.
fucking kidding me?
Yes.
Don't
So-
even say that.
So from on a level of just how I feel about it as a whole, yes. But in terms of how it is in the season right now, I could definitely see putting it below if you wanted to make that argument.
I don't
Okay,
know. I'm so turned off by the first boss being so boring.
But think about the
I
rest
get
of the
that, I get
bosses
that.
are awesome.
Well, so
If
I
I
was gonna
want-
say that one of my favorite mechanics to do, I don't know why, but it's the mechanic where you just have to dip your toe in something and take a stack off of it, which is
I
the
love
second
that.
boss's mechanic.
That's because we love
Yeah.
Pazavesh and we miss it so much. Like, but
I don't
yeah,
know. I just love that mechanic. But
So
I love it.
the last boss isn't that fun.
I like the blinding light. I think is kind of hype, and then the
Blinding
chasing
light.
laser. Like I like it. I think it's cool. I think visually it's
How,
cool. It's got 2 phases. That's sick.
Since I wasn't able to get there, how was that poll? How were the polls before that boss? Because I remember
it's
them being
They're
kind of
a lot
hectic
better.
They're
on
okay.
heroic. Okay.
They're a lot better than they were. Yeah.
yeah.
Just got to make
Yeah.
sure to
Yeah.
stop the heals, otherwise things
This-
go out the window.
This is a
Mhm.
plague
Kicks
fall
and
tier
stuff.
dungeon. This is like one of the ones we're gonna remember for a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
mean, if I want to push a key high, Rookery, I know I can +3,
Yeah.
right? Darkflame Cleft, I can do well. Theater Pain, I could do well. But if I want to have a good time, Priory is where
That's
I'm
that's
at.
why I feel I have it. I already feel like the Plaguefall vibes because Plaguefall was such a dicking, like it would just fuck you over so bad. But like it was always it was a good level of difficult, even if it may have been more
Yeah.
difficult than other dungeons in the tier. And you know what? This season we decided we're not gonna be all chaotic and toxic. We're gonna just chase our joy, right? And I think
Mhm.
and I'll be doing
we all
that in
love each other.
Priory.
We
Yeah.
all love each other, Frank. We all love each
No,
other.
I was gonna
Yep.
say, what are you talking about, Scrap? I've had more rage in these first 3 days of the
that
season
helps my
because of
enjoyment.
you
I know.
2 fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Dude,
Lithy and I just like to
listen,
have fun, and
If
Frank.
I had $1 for every time someone told me a mechanic and was so confidently incorrect, I could put my kids through fucking college.
oh
Goddamn.
no.
And it's
Yeah, it
again,
happens.
80% of it's from you 2 idiots.
We're
Oh my
feeling
gosh.
it out. We're still learning.
I'm not
Jesus
learning.
Christ.
I know
Yeah.
everything. It's fine.
Except how to pull 100%
My
of the
kids asked me
dungeon.
why was I furiously texting on my phone tonight because of fucking Lithian.
Lithian's gonna give you a heart
He
attack.
timed me out, bro.
He did. Well,
Yeah, emotional
Lithian
distress.
and I are chasing your joy, and your season goal is to find your zen.
Oh no, that's not gonna happen.
Well, we're gonna push him through. Put him through the
I'm making a
hurdles.
call right now. By the end of the season, I will have quit E-Team.
No.
No, you
No,
won't.
you
No, you
can't.
Yes, I will.
won't.
Yes, I
No,
will.
shut up. You're fine.
Yes, I
You're
will.
fine. Stop
If
complaining.
the trend continues, I am going to not only quit, but I will probably buy a ticket to Gen Con and kill one of you 2.
Oh no.
Are we ready? Let's go.
Even
Oh,
though this is gonna
God.
be on the internet, if that were to happen, I would still be on the news. Like, I never knew he could do this. I never thought he was capable.
We
Yeah.
thought he was full of
No.
shit. He just never was right about anything, and I thought he'd be wrong about this too.
It came out of nowhere. We had no idea it was escalating.
It escalated really fast. I don't know what
God.
happened, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I'm glad we can agree about Priory
I'm
because
not.
I was gonna be really upset.
I don't agree with
Under-
it, but I'm not going to be able to override you guys. You all unanimously agreed.
I don't think there's like a City of Threads or anything this season that I'm like absolutely dreading. So
It's
that's
Priory. It's Priory, dude. It's Priory is the
Scrap
City
likes
of Threads.
City of Threads though a lot.
I like City of
Yeah.
Threads. I like the dungeons that really make you like have to be good. Like I feel like I
Yeah.
want to conquer them, you know? And
Mhm.
like if they're well designed, I mean there's been some dungeons that I
Mhm.
feel like were hard but not well designed and I thought City of Threads was very well
So-
designed.
So to bring this full circle into season 2, I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking, okay, well, we got 5 out of the 8 in the ARS tier. But overall, I feel like this is a really good start to the season.
I
even
wouldn't
if
put
we-
anything below a B personally. I like them all.
You threw Cinder in the C.
No,
what are
I
you talking-
said Cinderbrew was a B.
You
How
said
did
it
end
was
up here? Because I don't think
indoor.
any of us disliked it
I
any more than
said-
you did.
I
I
said B or
think-
C, so maybe you just
No, I put it here
I
because
don't
she
know.
said she wanted to fucking murder anyone that walked into it.
No. No, I
Anyways,
was talking about Darkflame Cleft.
Anyways.
That's my least favorite so far.
It's I mean, it's a great start to the season. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, love the
absolutely.
dungeons.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Perfect.
staying up late doing keys and
Doing
I'm
podcasts.
I'm looking
I've been
forward to
yawning
doing
for like
keys.
the past like 30 minutes because for those who don't know, it's like almost 2 a.m. our time. And
Yeah,
I
we
need
had
to
to
bed
squeeze
because
it.
as
No,
Luthien
we
has
gotta
already
do
pointed
one
out,
key.
we all have normal jobs. We're not streamers.
Not me.
Yeah.
Scrap gets to go tattoo at 3 in the afternoon, but whatever.
No, I could 11, but
11,
yeah.
bro.
Dude,
I'm
I'm
up
gonna be
at
so
6.
tired tomorrow when I
earlier.
get up at 10 a.m.
Shut up. We got to do the question of the week real quick. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Is
Now-
this the quick one or the long one?
No, well,
quick one.
we'll see. So, Just Link in our Discord came in and had a very well thought out and 3-page thoughts
Very detailed
on
premise.
something. I want to give that the respect it dues, but we knew when we saw it, we're like, this might have to be like its own episode or something. But they did give us let's call it condensed question. So here it is. Do you think the heavy focus on spec balance, and it's unclear whether he means by players or by the devs, is because of the difficulty of getting into keys some players experience? So let's answer that first. Do you
I
think
get a quick answer.
Okay, quick answer. Do you think the heavy focus on balance is because of people not able to get into keys?
I would say the focus on players' focus being on not getting into keys. I would
they
say
want
yes.
balance because of that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think most of what people get upset about and are like upset that like my the class that I play isn't high on the tier list or whatever. I can't get into keys, and you can't get into keys. It's so frustrating. You're like, why is that possible? I have like a really high score. I can't get into keys I've already timed. I can't even get into keys that are lower level than ones that I've already timed. Like I feel that frustration, and I am like, okay, it's because of the how the community
Bro.
responds to the meta.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Wait, was that the question? I thought he
Well,
was
no,
asking.
this is dev or
the question had more to do with being able to get into keys based on balancing of the spec and class. But here's the problem, right? What Scrap's alluding to is there's a perception around this flavor of the month and meta and all this nonsense. And the reality is, if you're not pushing high keys, it doesn't freaking matter, man. Who cares?
But he's right in that it's even if you try to pug into a 10, those donkeys still won't take you.
Yeah,
even if
I
you're
know.
totally capable.
Was
It's a community
It's a
perception.
bad perception, man.
It's a bad perception.
The
Yeah.
question not do they focus on the balancing because of people not getting picked into keys? Was that
No,
not what his question was?
Here's the deal.
'Cause that's how I understood it.
I know, but you could play any class, any spec, and do just fine until you start pushing on the high end. You can succeed at any key with any class and any spec, unless you have a team of AUG invokers. That'd be bad. But
that's not what
AUG
he's
is the
arguing.
exception.
That's not what he's
No.
arguing.
Well,
What is
can
he
you
arguing, man?
clarify, Frank?
He's arguing that do you think players or devs, one or the other, are
Well, two
so
different answers.
worried about the balance because of how hard it is to get into the key, not to complete
Yeah,
the key.
that's what I thought.
to get
it was
into the key.
question. That's why I was really confused by
but
what they were saying.
it's hard to get into the key because of the perception that people have.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let
So
me
your
answer
answer
the
is
question
yes.
real quick.
Yes.
Go ahead, Io.
I don't think they balance it based on. I'm sure that can be a factor, but I think if it was, then like we wouldn't be having discussions about what would they need to give Arms Warrior to make them viable in keys. I think they look at raid. I think they look at
They look at
other
Tettle's
things.
sandbagging.
Yeah, they
look at,
look at what Tettles says and they buff
I'm
his
trying so hard not
balance
to fall
spirit
asleep
again.
right now.
they look at a lot more than just the keys. I don't think they're really that concerned about it. I think at the end of the day they understand that there's going to be a meta, and yeah, maybe they'll have a situation like an AUG Evoker where they're like, all right, let's just put this off to the side for a minute and just
All right, fuck these guys.
yeah. But other than that, I don't really think they think that much about that when they're doing the balance.
So-
it can be a factor, but not the main thing.
There's two problems that we also need to solve for here, because there is the idea of the meta and there's the actual meta, right? So,
Yeah.
like, for example, Ret Paladins were a little all over the place in the actual performance last season. For example, Ret was like by far and away the highest spec in keys, but I don't think it ever actually achieved the highest status within, the MDI play or within, the highest keys done. But the perception was also that, like, if you look at tier lists, I don't think anyone had Ret Paladin that high. They had like DK, Arcane was high at the start of the season. It fell off obviously because of all the changes. And so like part of me says I don't think it really is as bad of a problem as we think it is. And I go back to my argument with I can't remember who it was, but the Warriors of last season. Saying, well, they can't get in. Yet when we look at the keys, they were like, the 7th highest spec doing keys, right?
50, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, well, no, this was all keys, right? So like,
yeah.
And so like they weren't meta by Fury and Arms were nowhere close to meta, yet they were doing plenty of keys. I really do believe, and I pulled up on the screen here, this is this week's meta list. Arcane Mage is by far the lowest. I'm excluding Og just because
by a mile. Look at that.
They're in a funeral pyre right now. But
yeah,
Arcane Mage is the lowest, and I'm having no different of a difficulty getting into keys than I did last season versus this season. No, I don't even think top. I don't think 10% of people even look at this list, let alone the tier list, as we've proved through meta is all over the place. And at the end of the day, I think everyone's experiencing this problem of getting into keys. Now, in Justlink's thought out process, he said, well, I think they should bring in the queuing system that normal and looking for group and all that stuff use, which has been a point of discussion that apparently Blizzard has sent surveys out for. And I think he said, like, in order to be able to, queue for an 8, you have to do all 7s and stuff like that. There's all sorts of things we could talk about that. We're not going to get into that today. But it takes, on average to queue for a heroic 12, 15 minutes. Is that a fair number?
I know
as a DPS, yeah.
Yeah, right, as a DPS. And so, like, I think that's the same kind of feeling, and it's obviously longer for Mythic Plus because there's not so many people running Mythic Plus dungeons as they are heroic. But it is going to be a relevant 30 minutes or whatever, people are experiencing to get into a key that the Arms Warrior, that the Arcane Mage, that even the Ret Paladin is probably experiencing, because even if I'm Ret or even if I'm DK, there's 15 other people who are also DK queuing. Mm-hmm. And so why would they pick you over the other people? Well, they start using the other context clues they might have.
Well, the problem doesn't really start to expose itself until you start pushing higher keys. And
there's just less of them.
Yeah, and that's the challenge.
To be fair too, if you're doing higher keys, you're probably not pugging as much.
Well, I think even I think the problem that most people are in it is like the 10 to 13 range last season.
Yeah.
Because
that's 8 to 10.
8 to 10. But like even I don't know. I was getting frustrated when I was in like the 10 to 13 range because it's like I couldn't get into a key I'd already timed. I couldn't get into a key I'd already +2.
So, do you think that's because you're a survival hunter?
I think, I talked about this before. I think it was a heavy melee meta, like, and with healing shaman being in the meta, it hurts my chances of getting in because they're not taking me for the heroism. Survival was doing very, very well last season. The problem is that there were a lot of specs that like there was fucking 10,000 Ret Paladins, man. And Ret Paladin is like they're much more likely to do well, I think, because it was a lot simpler last season than Survival. I mean, Survival was pretty simple, but like I expect them to do pretty well and bring the utility and stuff like that. So there's a lot of factors, but that's I can understand that being very frustrating. But we talked about the solution. The solution is to pug your own key, get your stuff up, make sure you've timed as much things as possible, get that score up. Like there was times when I was trying to push up my score to get from like a 2898 to like a 2900 just so people could see that 2900, and I was doing keys I'd already done to get a slightly higher score to do that. I mean, I've never had to do that another season to get pug before. So I feel the pain.
I think we need to do an actual study and see, like, we need to get like me, you, and Shani, or whoever DPS is.
Yeah.
And honestly, I ask you can do it probably just as Ret, and you just build your score up or something. We all set like a benchmark, let's say 3,000 IO or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we all start looking for groups at the same time, maybe even queue for the same keys at the same time.
Yeah.
And see which ones get picked, because we can just like leave the group as soon as we get picked, right?
So it's okay. So see who gets picked the most.
So let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna make a note for myself that we are going to do this, midway through the season. Give the meta some time to
For
develop.
I love
Science.
this. So yeah, so here's how I think it would look like is that like we all just queue for as many 12s that have DPS spots as available, and
Yeah.
in an hour see how many we get into, and
Yeah.
then just leave immediately.
Yeah.
Like, but like
Can't requeue for the old one though.
I fucking guarantee you I'll be at the bottom of that.
I disagree.
Because,
I think it'll be.
well,
I think it'll be
Survival
the
Hunter
average
isn't.
will be the same.
I think Survival Hunter is an iffy spec. Like, not a lot of people are up and up on like if it's doing well or not. And I think that was a lot of issue with last season. Is it was doing super well last season, but people are more familiar with like a Ret Pally or Arcane Mage. Just like those generally do well.
What?
By the way,
I think so. Like mages, or just a mage. Like
Scrap.
I
We
never
talked
fucking
at
take.
extensive length. We never take mages because they're all idiots.
I never take mages, and I think next week you're gonna see that you're not gonna be able to get into fucking keys, Frank. Because look at what these guys are doing to these poor sons of bitches keys. They're doing that, so that's a problem.
This is the thing. If you're waiting for a Q in a DPS, it might not be because of the spec you're playing. It might just be because the person running the key has a bias against a certain class and isn't going to pick
That's
you.
true. Yeah, what are you playing?
And it goes beyond. Because otherwise they just stack Ret Paladins or Frost DKs nonstop, right?
Yeah. I mean, Ret Pally was my most taken spec, not because it was meta, but because it's relatively well, no, because it's relatively. I know it's relatively easy to play, so there's less of a like when I take an Arcane Mage, it's like they could do really well, or 90% of the time they could be complete fucking dog shit because nobody understands how to play that fucking spec. But like Ret Paladin has like 3 buttons. It was doing really well DPS wise. Like it could bring a battle res, it brings a sack. Like and I'm just like, and there was 400 of them applying to my key, so like. That's a super easy take for me.
So my entertaining insight from this whole list in front of me is that there's a bunch of meta chasing vengeance demon hunters that suck.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at the very bottom. I wouldn't even look at that. Like the tank one is cryptic to me. The healing one's interesting. I mean, I haven't done it like.
Well, this is all damage. This is all damage.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. I don't even know. It's late. It's 2 fucking a.m.
But
so
let's look at.
No, let's not. I gotta go to bed.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I like looking at the chart.
Are
it's so bad.
Where's mine, Frank?
Survival.
It's not visible.
No,
oh, nice. That's pretty good.
No, that's Markmas. Here you are.
Yeah. That's more what I expected.
Oh look, it's more than Arcane.
Yeah. Well.
5. More than
everybody's playing fire.
Shit.
We can both enjoy scraping the barrel.
Okay. Let's go to the second part of his question and go to bed.
No more of the question. Let's do the second part next week.
No, just right now. So, and if so we said yes. Do you also think that the heavy focus on balance could be better placed on other things? So I think what they mean by this is, hero balance and stuff like that.
Oh,
yes. Fix the problems, or even maybe introducing the looking for group queue.
I don't like the looking for group queue personally. I think you're gonna see as much toxicity, like
if not worse.
They put me in this group and I see a feral druid. I'm just gonna leave and wait 15 more minutes while I watch YouTube or something like that. I genuinely think groups are gonna break up right at onset just because of the comp. They're like, oh, this comp sucks. Like, fuck this, or like they'll see like, oh, this guy's gear is dog shit, whatever. And if there's really specific gear and IO requirements, it's gonna really take a long fucking time to make groups. So. I personally like to have a hand in choosing it because there is more than just score and class, I think, that you can look at. I mean, Frank's going to be technical and say wow up, but I also just look at what keys have they run? Have they run a lot of Dawnbreakers, or are they struggle? Do they need this one to get their 3K? Like, there's a lot of factors, maybe superstition, but I don't personally like that. Now, however, the hero balance we talk about a lot, like heroes and battle res and stuff like that, because that is like the number one factor. When I'm building my key, you have to have a couple things, right? You have to have your battle res, you have to have your heroism. Like, I'm not building a key without that shit. So
yeah, but you have hero, and
I know. Let's say I'm a warrior, like, because I've pugged on my warrior before. Is that like I'm not just like leaving something out of the group. I'm like first.
No, I get that.
Like operation number 1, I have to have these 2 things, and then I'll think about
what if the pre-made group finder or whatever the queuing system is will allow you to select the things that you need, So you need a battle res. You need heroism.
I expect it to. It wouldn't work.
Right.
To have that.
If it did all those things, you're saying you'd still not want to do it.
I'd still prefer. I think what distinguishes it from other parts of the game that's less. I think like having to find your key, curate your key, get into a key and stuff. It creates a bit more loyalty in the group. Like
it creates more loyalty.
And I think right now the loyalty in the group is. I think
hold on. She wants loyalty.
But hold on.
How many people leave pugs?
I'm saying
right when something first goes bad.
My prediction is, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. The loyalty right now is exceptionally low. It's low, but I feel like it's like, oh god, it took me fucking 20 minutes to get into this key, or there might be some. I like the old school way of building a group to get into a dungeon.
I like our science experiment.
Yeah.
Let's science it up, but I think your bias is based on your experience, and it's not
possibly. I don't do a lot of. I will say I don't do dungeon finder. Like I don't do heroics or anything. I don't level characters, so I don't know.
It's also so easy. It's negated by it doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah.
I ask you
if it's one of those things. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. I know it isn't perfect.
It's broke.
It's not. People just need to.
I agree.
Be patient.
Coming from a healer, it's not broken.
Yeah, from a fucking healer in the tank, say it's not broken. Fuck you guys.
I'm an arcane mage.
All
right, arcane mage. Whatever.
Anyone would have to wait any amount of time and probably run the same amount of keys, and I think the numbers show that. So, but at the end of the day, if they want to put the resources towards their balance, towards something else, like whatever, that's fine. But I don't think there's really anything they would be doing, like especially because they're different teams too. Like, what would the balance team be doing that isn't just balancing classes for the content? I don't really know what they would be doing otherwise.
I mean, that's primarily how we enjoy the game, so I think balance is important, really, really important. Yeah. But yeah, I just want to put a bow on like what was my take with that is that I do think like balancing out who gets heroism, because you let me finish my point, or I didn't let me finish my point. I don't know. Like
who's gonna stop you?
I think it's don't stop me. I do think I think that if they gave more classes hero and battle res, it would do much more for balancing than like trying to make everything perfectly even.
Let's give one tank a hero.
I think warrior should have heroes.
I think Scrap, we've done it before where we build our groups and then we go, oh shit, I don't have a battle res, or oh shit, I don't have a hero.
Yeah.
We've done it.
And again, then I there are items. Out.
But again, there are items that give you, I mean, they need to fix drums to be the same as hero. But
the battle res honestly is universal now, so that is true.
And
it's just annoying to
hero
use.
Is too, because like
good drums.
And even if you don't have drums, there's so many classes that have hero. I can't remember the last time where we were not only not thinking about which class has hero, like 1 out of maybe 50 pugs that we build, we forget that, we didn't get hero. Like, we didn't
because you always play with me and Moosh. I mean, my problem is I'm always playing with Moosh and
you all play less classes.
Yeah, that's the thing. We all play less classes. Well, that's the thing is that like I've been doing last season. I did so many keys with Musham and Phoenix, and like so if somebody tells me to hero, I'm like, yeah, somebody tell the shaman to hero, and I'm like, oh wait, fuck, I'm the hero.
I'm too good. I'm too good for that.
No, I forget that that's even like a thing I do. Just from last season, my brain was rotted out from running with shamans, and I get into a group, and I would be like applying to the group saying, I have heroism, and then they'd be like, where's the heroism? I'd be like, I'm
too good for heroism.
I'm not too good. It's just like my hunters rise up with me. It's not like you have to know you're gonna press it because. Doing the pet thing takes a while.
I've got to switch my pets.
We'll do the science experiment.
With the British
about that, okay?
Okay,
all right.
We will.
Last thoughts of the night. Say goodnight to everyone, but I just want to hear from you guys. What's the first spell out of the Mythic Plus dungeons you would nerf if you were the dev? Okay, so Lithian, what's the first thing you would nerf out of the Mythic Plus dungeons this season? What's the most egregious thing?
I don't know, man.
Like too much of a damage check, or what about that tank buster?
The tank buster at the end of
Floodgate
is probably something that needs a little bit of tweaking. If it can one shot,
seen it in live, so don't even.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in live, but I already know that I need to have something up for it because I watched you do that key with the warrior.
Yeah,
and it's scary.
Okay. Scrap.
so
Sorry,
I
I'm so tired. I'm moving
Yeah,
slow.
go ahead.
The seizure
This
inducing.
is by far our longest episode ever.
Shut up. The seizure-inducing trash in Priory that we'll probably skip for the rest of the season, but like that needs adjustment.
You mean the mini boss?
Yeah, the mini boss that just shoots fire
skipping
everywhere
that
and
forever.
slows you.
No,
Like,
We're not skipping
it-
that forever.
Girl, you are doing too much.
You're
That
gonna
needs to
see
be
that.
toned the
No,
fuck
you're gonna see that in
down.
pugs, and I think it's perfectly fine.
Yep.
All right.
I don't like it.
I ask you.
Not necessarily a spell, but in Motherlode, those mines that chase you, I would maybe just do something that made them not so fast, or to make it easier to kite them without having to risk. I know you said it's against what you think the dungeon is, but just make that section a little easier, because that can be a little hectic.
Do they kill you when they hit you? I don't think they kill
Yeah, they do a lot of damage,
you.
They hurt.
Okay.
and they have a residual, so they can like kill the tank too by
Well,
accident.
not if you don't run it. Tank, give me. Like,
Nah.
You're freaking a little bit peaky. You're peeking a little bit.
Oh, he's peaked.
I'm getting a little
Yeah.
loopy myself. All
right,
alrighty.
My spell that I would nerf is the ads at the end of Priory that come running up the stairs. The fact that they one shot you on a 3. Like I did
Yeah.
a 3
They-
this morning,
they-
and they literally just like boop, and got me. Like,
Yeah,
Why
they
not
fixate.
Yeah.
Lithium pull, you know?
No,
Yeah,
they
it's not really.
fixate.
It's not really clear that they fixate. Like we were very confused. We were like,
They-
thought the tank was not handling
They don't have
them,
an
and
aggro table.
Yeah, they don't have an aggro table. I
Oh,
wish that was
yeah.
more clear.
What's his face said that? Quasi said that in his video.
yes,
Yeah,
you
we
did.
didn't
He also
know,
said stack everywhere, and it doesn't seem to be
Oh
consistent.
wait, I made a joke about that. Like, watch people
Uh,
die to this on when they don't have an aggro table, and I
But
made
it's
a joke
not
about that.
clear. It really wasn't. It I don't know. That
Just don't
part
get
felt
hit by it.
a little off.
Mhm.
Once
Maybe
we-
someone in the comments can tell us. Like, subscribe, whatever YouTube things. I
Yeah.
can't
Comment.
think anymore.
I've got my warm soda. That we had a lot of.
Oh, fucking
comments
gross.
stuff
By the way,
around
I got
it.
my
started a
whiskey.
war on
I did
YouTube.
start a war. We didn't do anything controversial this episode. There's gonna be no comments. Tragic.
Oh no, there will be.
Yeah.
Maybe your
There
fucking
will be.
Darkflame
Where-
Cleft
where there's a-
Hey,
takes.
remember when you guys said this will be a short episode?
Where there's
Good
a
Good
night,
night,
staff
everyone. We
plot,
love you. Bye.
There's
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah.
Bye.
Are we done? Okay, bye.